yet, but we're still setting up anyway, so that's okay. Hopefully we have some people jumping in here pretty quick. If you are watching this later and you're a member, we have a members live coming up soon because I know you guys have a giveaway coming. I got all the stuff over there. It's going to be awesome. Big giveaway. Today we're going to be using Worksharp sharpening tools. I have a whole bunch of them pulled out, so all different kinds, because they make a lot of different stuff and they are an awesome company. So, and they also sponsor the channel, which is awesome. And because I've supported them for a long, well, I've been recommending them, I should say, for a very long time. So it's awesome, you know, that we, you know, support, love support, right? Let's pull this puppy up. Hopefully this thing ain't loud in your ear. What's going on, guys? Give me 2 seconds. Just trying to turn this on. It always gives me a little bit of a hassle right at first. What's going on, guys? Thank you guys for being here. We are going to be basically using a bunch of different Worksharp sharpening tools today. I got a whole bunch of them pulled out, all different kinds, from freehand to fixed angled. I also want to show you guys their fixed angled stone holder, because they got the basically an adapter for, why the fuck will not? Oh, I bet you that's a bullshit one. I have a stone holder right here that is from them, which is actually pretty cool how this thing works. So basically it makes it to where you can hold 4-inch stones, 6-inch stones, wide stones, skinny stones. You can basically hold everything, and they have an adjuster right here for the length of the stone. And then, you know, you also have the thing where you can just easily pop it out after you set it. You can just easily pop it out, so you don't have to constantly unscrew it or anything like that, which that's really, really nice. And sorry guys, I'm trying to pull this picture up. I don't know why it always gives me problems pulling up my own damn live, but it does. And what the hell? Why is it saying that? That is so weird. Let's go over here. Somebody do me a favor. Somebody copy this live and send it to me on Instagram, please. For some reason, man, it's just not letting me watch my own shit anymore. It's so weird. I wonder if I accidentally banned myself. Wouldn't that be fucked up? I did that to somebody who was a member by accident. Well, I didn't know I did it. And for a long time, we were trying to figure it out. And I guess I blocked them. Let me read what you guys are saying. Love your channel. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Jacob. I got a cousin named Jacob. How are you guys? I've just been training my mind and body, shooting and all that good stuff. That's awesome, man. Good for you. Thank you, Marco. Appreciate it. Sorry. I accidentally clicked it. But yeah, that's awesome, man. That's good for you, man. That's, I always tell people, man, train as much as you can, do everything you can. Especially, you know, if you're gonna carry and stuff like that. If you're planning on being the guy that's gonna, you know, help people and stand up for people, definitely train. Marco, where the hell is it? Primer. Thought I just seen him send something in. Am I wrong, Marco? All right, let me see. Cue Ball did it? Oh, was it Cue Ball? I didn't see it. Oh, maybe it is from Cue Ball. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. You're the man. I appreciate it. Let's see if it takes me. So, you guys don't know this, but I recently had all of my stuff erased. See, this is weird. Open app. So I I had all the stuff on my phone, months and months of like videos, edited videos, everything you could imagine. All my messages, all my thumbnail stuff. Because, you know, like we save little templates and shit, you know, so that you can quickly do a thumbnail again, right? Maybe you might, you know, keep templates of like arrows and just things, circles and whatever. Everything was gone. Woke up and it just like did an update and it said, yeah, we don't like none of your shit. And they just took it all. And it's devastating for somebody like me because I had things that were finished that I worked on for weeks, if not months. I had like stuff that, because there's some things that take me a long time to do. It's not like even like this, the CRKT thing, right? Nothing's going to happen with that until September, right? So fucking sucks. So I lost everything from that, but luckily we had stuff because we recorded it on this other device, thank God. So most of it I do have. All right, what's your opinion on the highest grit for 15V? 400 to 600, maybe 800. I wouldn't go too much farther than that. 15V really likes a toothy edge. Do this, you know, fuck it, I'll just leave it. And then we're going to start sharpening here in 1 second, guys. I see there's 62 people in here. I think we're going to start with a fixed angle because I want to show you guys that stone holder. So that's probably what we're going to start with. Yeah, unless you guys want to start with freehand, I do have, because check this out. The one thing that, man, I recommend most from Worksharp is always going to be the field sharpener. This is my most used sharpening tool and most recommended. And it's also the smallest, which is crazy. So this is how it comes brand new. This is what mine looks like after, was it 5, 6 years old or something. This is the same diamond plates it came with, same strop, same everything. Now here's one that's relatively new. I've probably put a couple dozen sharpenings on it or something, but it's pretty new. This one's a few months old. But you can get these replacement plates because these replacement plates have diamond plates and a strop inside here. So what you can do is you can just replace them because these pop right off. And you can also flip them so you don't damage them, you know, for storage. You can store stuff inside there, whatever. But it's really cool that you can get that. Now, another thing they got, I think it's for $100. You can get 3 of them. So they're normally $39. I think the price went up just slightly, $39. And so basically 40 bucks. So 3 of those, that'd be, you know, 120 bucks. So you can get it for 90 bucks. So you're basically getting one for free to some extent if you buy 3 of them. And I have the Amazon link down in the description if you guys want to get any of them. They also have a pack where you can buy 1 and then the replacement pack. I forget how much that is, but just saying, like, they have a lot of little stuff like that. And that is something that I can promise, absolutely promise, that it will be an amazing investment. Like, I've never heard not one person say I bought a Worksharp field sharpener and I don't use it, or I regret my purchase or whatever. Never. That doesn't even happen. It doesn't exist because they're so valuable. It's so easy to use this. In fact, we'll do a full sharpening with this in this live. You know, maybe we'll start with that because, man, it's just the most easiest thing to use, and you can carry it anywhere. You can store it anywhere. Every time I go on trips, like to do knife stuff, like, you know, for videos and shit like that, I always have one of those. Shit, the CRKT thing, I sharpened in my hotel the night before I went and cut a bunch of shit up and did this whole video with CRKT. I was in my hotel sharpening on the field sharpener. I swear to God. And I got it on my little, whatever the hell that little camera thing is. Sorry, I sent it. I didn't. Oh, thank you, Chris. No, man, I appreciate you sending it, man. I don't know why it's like it just won't let me click on it. It's so weird. Best sharpener I ever bought. Exactly. Dad, outdoors. Yeah, it is. It's like, to me, I almost wonder, like, if somebody was like, which one would you rather give up, right? Like, would you rather give up, like, you know, your favorite fixed angled system or the field sharpener? That'd be, I mean, for like life, like not obviously just one, right? But like you can never use it again. That'd be tough. That'd be tough because I literally used the field sharpener probably 20 times before I use a fixed angled system or even a freehand system, because I just tune things up or even just do a quick sharpening. The other day, I sharpened this knife up in a matter of minutes. I think it was like 4 minutes or something. I forget what it was. I said it in the short, but it's also very thin and slicey. So that's why, you know, anything thin is going to sharpen up faster. I should sharpen it again, though. I want to sharpen it a couple times because I want to test the ZDP 189 on there. How do you feel about the new Ken Onion blade grinder attachment? I actually have the new set, so I have the old one and the new one. So I think it's great. I think that's awesome. However, this is the way I explain it, because I would never lie to you guys about anything, you know, regardless of my relationship with any company or anything like that. I love the belt sharpener specifically only for fixed blades that are big, thick, heavy duty, you know, things like this. Like if it's something like this, that's perfect. That's exactly what you want, because it allows it to go much faster, much easier, blah, 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 blah. But I would never use it for my pocket knives, premium knives, or anything like that, because a stone sharpened edge will always be superior. A belt sharpened edge will never, ever, ever stand toe to toe with a stone sharpened edge. Now, maybe some people's stone sharpened edge versus some people's belt sharpened edge, but the best of the best, it's not competing. David, been a member for 31 months with the motherfucking rock studs. Hell yeah, man. Thank you, David. I appreciate all the support, man. I have 3, and that's still not enough. Love the field shot. I know. Do you see how many I got? Shit. I like, to me, it's one of the best gifts. Like pocket, like what are they called? Stocking stuffers or whatever. So good, man. And what's cool about it is whoever you give it to doesn't even need to know how to sharpen. They can easily look up one of my videos or anybody's video on the field sharpener and learn how to use it in like 3 minutes. But even without that, you can teach them right there in 3 minutes or less. And I'll show you exactly why, because we're going to use it. We might as well do it now. I am going to use a different stropping compound though over this, because I want to show you guys something. Check this out. Worksharp sent me, and I've been testing it out over the past month or so. This is the first time I'm talking publicly about their stropping compound. And I haven't come to a definitive conclusion yet because I got some more testing I have to do. But I'm going to just say this. I'm going to make a statement. So, but don't hold me to it, all right? Don't hold me to it. This could potentially be the most concentrated stropping compound I've tried, but there's the one problem is that it's powdery, and that's the issue I've had with it, is that this, maybe I've applied it wrong. Maybe I'll figure that shit out. Like I said, don't hold me to any of this, but when I put it on, when I go to strop, and I'm not talking about like the second after, I'm talking about the next couple days, few days, like it's like my edge gets powdery. However, the results are insane. And the amount of steel like that comes off, like you would think this was like 50, 60 strops, right? This is like 6, maybe 10. Like it's seriously, it removes metal. The first time I took a swipe across it, I seen how much particle came off. I was like, whoa. But you know, we'll see how that goes, but I'm going to put this on the field sharpener because at the very least I can try it on that one, because I don't like the green stuff's fine. Like I get it on my field sharpeners. I use it until it's done. Sometimes I'll peel it off and replace it with my own leather, like, cause I have like little rolls of leather, but I'll always put my own emulsion on after like it's done or when I'm replacing it. So let me just spray this so this thing can have a moment to dry. Make sure it's shaking up really good. Okay. You don't really want thick compound or thick stropping compound or emulsion. You want it nice and thin because making it thick doesn't make it better. The diamond, once it's on the surface, the thinnest layer possible, once it's on the surface, it's good because that's all it needs, because it has the abrasive over the surface. Adding more is just wasting it. Paul sent 1 Neeves Knives gift membership. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, Paul, man. That's awesome. Or Punge. Sorry, Punge. I read it as Paul. Half blind over here. Half blind. Got shot in the eye years ago. Received a gift membership. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Watching 21 likes. Let's step it up, folks. Thank you, man. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. BP Customs. I showed you guys my BP Custom, and now I got it fucking put over there so you can't see it. But he also sent me a little pry bar. This is out of Almax, but it's nice and sharp. Not sharp, but it's like nice and thin, so it actually works as a good pry bar. He's doing a drop tomorrow. So if you guys have been wanting to get, like, I'll just show it to you. He's not necessarily dropping these models right here, but this is one of the models he does. He just made a new design, and it's a Harpoon Warncliffe. But this is the one that I just recently got from him. I fucking love this thing. It is so thin. It's like 8,000 feet on the edge. Look at this micarta. And it's 65 HRC LMAC, or 65 HRC crew wear, 65 plus 1 HRC. So it's basically like 65, 66. Now let's sharpen. Maybe we should sharpen that up. Yeah, let's sharpen this up. Fuck it. So I'm going to drop you guys down really quick. Let me move this stuff. We're going to get to sharpening. Let's get this show on the road. I think we have enough people in here. Show's been going on long enough. Let's get it. Oh, you know what? Actually, also, I'm going to put some more stropping compound on this. I'm going to move you guys lower, so don't think that's where you're staying. I just want to load this thing up. I want to wipe it down first, though, because normally, with the stropping compound I use normally daily, where the hell is my soapy water? There's barely anything in there. Normally what I'll do is I literally just spray the strop down as long as it's on the flesh side with like soapy water or alcohol, and I just wipe it down like this, and it usually cleans it right up. This one, I got to get my soapy water out. Probably going to need it anyways. I should have it right here somewhere. But normally alcohol works really, really well, and it dries immediately. This stuff, you know, I'm drying it while I'm using it. So, and I'm just trying to get the surface. This isn't, both of these sides, yeah, both of these sides are more of a fleshy side than a suede side, which I do prefer. So that's a cool thing, because that is a Worksharp strop. I gotta grab this garbage too. I'm not prepared today, guys. Dude, I've had a crazy couple days after my stuff went missing, or not missing, evaporated. The Lord Almighty came and took it. So now the stuff's not spraying very well. There we go. I'm gonna pump it up a little bit. Let me see how this 7 works. Sometimes the problem with the sprayers with diamond emulsions, especially when they're highly concentrated, they clog. Well, that one's spraying really good. But that's why a lot of companies use pumps, the pump ones. But I found plenty that can use the sprays. They just probably have to have a certain type of nozzle or something. Let that dry. And we will get the sharpening. So we're just gonna lower you down like that real quick. And maybe I should get my rubber pad. I love having these rubber pads. I'm gonna try to get some on the site. We tried a few months ago, it didn't work out. They were wanting entirely way too much money for them. And then like you guys would fucking flip out and be like, I can't believe how much he's charging us for. It's like, well, fucking man, you know, it's not, you don't want to buy a whole bunch and sell them for free. But it's just tough, man, because like they wouldn't do like under like it wasn't like we could get like 500 or 1,000 or even 2,000. They wanted to do like a fucking 200,000 order or something for us to save money or some shit. It's crazy. I'm not sure if that was actually true, but something like that. It was a huge order that it's like, we're not trying to get that many, you know, in order to save a little tiny amount. Okay, so Worksharp Elite or the Ken Onion. Okay, so the Worksharp, oh, definitely the fixed angled system, 100%. The fixed angled system that we'll use here in a minute is their best system. Like that's the best thing you can get from them. And they've made it now, and I was showing you guys earlier, and we're going to show it here in a second. They've made it now where you can buy any stones you want, just like you can buy my stone set if you want, or just use their stone set because they have a great stone set. Okay, so this is the reason why this thing is so easy to use. So it has the angles already built into it. You have 20-degree angle on both sides. We have a coarse diamond and then a fine diamond. So what we can do is we can put it on that ramp, drop it down, hit that angle right there, and then just lock it in with our forearm. So you can hold it in hand or you can lay it on a surface, doesn't matter. I tend to use this thing with my finger like that. But what you do is you just put it right up to the edge and then you just hold that angle as you go across. When you get to the belly, lift your elbow. Now what I like to do is, this is a 20-degree bevel, right? Or 20-degree angle. What I do is, and anybody can do this, and you probably should grab a marker. Take like a marker and like draw a line directly down the center right there. Let's say right there. We'll do the same thing on this side. So that's a little over halfway down. It's about 3/4 of the way down. And the reason why is because now when I put my spine there, instead of up here like this, instead of like that, we're doing it like this. So that means now this is a sharper edge. It might take a little bit longer, but it'll be a much sharper edge. So this thing, while yes, it only has 20-degree angles on there, it technically has every angle on here. You can go all the way down to as low as you want just by using the bottom of the ramp. You just have to put indicators, because even the 20-degree angle is not going to be 100% accurate because it depends on the thickness of the blade, the width of the blade, all of that good shit. But it's a starting point. That's what you want. You want a point where I can repeat over and over and over and over. So like with this one, I can keep putting it right there and just repeat it. And what you do is you do this. So you set it down, let the edge hit, and then drag it across. And basically you're trying to like simulate cutting a thin layer off of the stone. That's basically what you're trying to do. You're trying to basically cut a thin layer off the top of the stone. That's a good mindset to have when you are right there, when you're going across the stone. Now I'm just going to do my own angle because what I'm doing is I'm going to use the top corner right there with the top corner of the blade. That's a good angle right there. That's perfect. That feels good too. I like that one. You want to do a comfortable angle that feels good to you, that you can hold. Like this feels a lot better for me than holding it flat across like this. My forearm feels better. I can pull it at an angle like this and then just raise my elbow up until the tip hits. And we've already got a burr. So we've already done one side. Look at how fast that was. I bet you I had a burr for more than a couple passes. And it's just so easy to use, almost, that anybody can do this. And like I said, you can just do it right in hand too. You don't have to set it on a flat surface. So you can do this out in the field while you're at work, fishing, hunting, camping, whatever. Even like going to your friend's house, your family's house. I'll bring mine with and sharpen up my friend's knives, friends or family. I do have a burr, but I see a piece I want to hit right there. And that's only because I'm a picky bastard. Welcome to the Benchmates. Punch, thank you, sir. Appreciate it, man. And Hector, thank you for the 5 bones. As an expert, can you get better edges freehand, or are you still getting better edges? So it depends. So the honest answer to that, and Punch, thank you again for sending a NEEVESKNIVES gift membership, man. I appreciate it. And so the reason why it depends is because there's some shapes, some grinds, some angles that just, the handle, the blade just feels so good that I can easily sharpen it up perfectly freehand. And I can get, if I want to, a semi-convex edge or whatever, and which would probably be a little bit of a superior edge, especially at a super low angle. Now with a fixed angle, there's going to be some knives that it's more difficult for me for some reason. And typically I boil that down to heat treatment. Like when the heat treatment's poor, I do better on a fixed angle. If the heat treatment's phenomenal, then I do great on fixed angle. But you know, there is some gray areas. There's sometimes I do better with fixed angle, and then there's many times I do better with a freehand, but it does depend. And then, but there's a couple things though. One, well, let's flip over to this side. So we finished on this side. We got a burr on this side and then a burr on this side. The burr is just a metal wire. Once you're done scraping the edge across the stone, the steel you removed from this side is folded over like this. It's literally folded over like that. So now there's a hook here. It's like, it's just rough. And so I can feel that it's rough, and I'm not rubbing my finger across this way. I'm rubbing it upward like that. And you'll feel it because it's hooked over, right? So now I want to go to that side. That's the side I want to start with. I want to go on the other side because this is the fine stone. So now this is a fine diamond. Then next we'll go to the ceramic. And I know exactly where to hold it, so I don't need the line. But some knives, though, are just easy to do freehand, or easier for me to hold my angle and get a perfect bevel. And then there's this. This is a big thing, probably the one of the biggest. Fixed angle, because it is locked in, it can't change. My hand can change. So I can, let's just say for an example, right? Let's say the knife has a tip that's so damn thick that the bevel will go like, it'll go small, 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 then right up to the tip. Like imagine seeing a tiny bevel like what's on here right now. And all of a sudden from here to here, it's just like, it's like this high up the blade, like almost damn near to the spine. That would suck, right? But there are a lot of knives like that because it's just their ground messed up. Also, if one side's ground thinner and one side's ground thicker, then it's going to be nearly impossible to match those with a fixed angle system. When you're freehanding it, you can do it. I can dip my wrist. I can lift up if I want to a little extra. I can raise angle in certain areas. I can apply pressure in certain areas. I can do two different angles on both sides without, you know, having to deal with a lot of bullshit. Okay, so we finished this side with the fine, right? Hey, Rave Woods. Thank you, man. 20 bones as a craftsman who loves blades. This is awesome. Man, I appreciate the 20 bones, man. You're awesome, man. Thank you so much. Fucking badass, man. All right, so we have a burr from heel to tip. Once you get your first burr from your first stone, the next stones will go much faster as far as getting the burr if you're holding the exact same angle. If you're, sorry if I'm yelling, guys. If you're not holding the exact same angle, then it won't. But if you're holding the exact same angle, it will absolutely get a burr very quickly. But that doesn't mean just finish just because you got a burr. Make sure you do enough passes that your scratch pattern is covered, because the burr could just flip over anyways, because once it's there, it's going to flip back and forth kind of, you know, unless if it gets knocked off. So you'll want to do a little bit extra, even though the burr shows up really nice. And just look at your scratch pattern. Make sure it's nice and even. You want to basically look uniform. You want to kind of be at an angle and be like, it's each scratch pattern that these diamonds leave are leaving a microscopic serration. And if I took something like this, right, this little microscope, just because you guys are right here and this is easy to use. If I put it on this edge, you'll see that there are, hopefully, damn it. Don't pay attention to the burr right there. That's the burr at the apex, but let me turn this off. I think I can turn the brightness down. There we go. Sorry, I took a picture of it. But see how there's scratches going down to the cutting edge? That those little fibers you see on the apex, that's the burr. So don't pay attention to that. But the little scratches you see all going at an angle, those are microscopic serrations. We want those. Those are really good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to the ceramic. So we went to the coarse, we did the fine on both sides. So we've raised a burr from both stones. Now I'm going to go over to, because this is crew wear, I could technically put a mirror polished edge on this. So this isn't going to be like the best mirror polished edge, but what I can do is I can go to this side, which is the coarse, right? This is a ceramic. And now I'm going to try to match my angle as good as possible. And let me flip it to this side. There we go. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to try to refine the edge just a little bit more with this ceramic. And because I know this knife has a great heat treatment, because it's a custom and it has such thin geometry and it's crew wear and it's at a good HRC. I know that the abilities of this steel can absolutely handle not only low angle edges, but low angle ultra fine edges. Some knives you might not want to go, you know, past a certain grit. There's a lot of steels actually that you don't want to go past a certain grit. Most steels actually, you know, you want to be right around in the 600 to 1,000 grit range. But then there's many that really love a nice fine edge, like a nice polished edge. But you have to get the right steel. All right, now we're going to go over to the fine. So there's a little nipple right here. That's for like fishing hooks and stuff. And then this is for serrations. We're going past there to the fine. So you have coarse, fishing hook, fine. So now I'm going to repeat the exact same thing. But this time, so normally when I use my ceramic on this, I normally just remove the burr. So that's what I'm trying to say right now. And I guess I should have said it like that first. Normally I would just literally do like 4 or 5 passes per side. Right now I'm kind of refining the edge just a little bit more. So I'm not just knocking the burr off. I'm also making my edge a little finer. All right, now I'm going to go back and forth, trying to remove my burr. Most of my burr is going to be gone by now because of the ceramic. Let's see. Oh yeah, we're good. Then put this little plate back. Now we're going to use the strop. Remember we loaded this one with their compound just a minute ago. Now this strop does have angles too. You just follow this up the ramp and then bam. But I did my own angle, so I know it's going to be a little bit lower. Now we don't, look at that. See that compound? See how black it's already getting? Like I said, this stuff is very powerful. Very, very powerful stropping compound. I'm excited, man. Ooh, that is a very aggressive edge. I'm excited to really test it out because, man, if it winds up being better than my favorite stropping compound, I might have to ask them to hook a brother up for the site. Woo. Listen to that. You can't even hear it. Yes, you can. But it's super quiet, though. Listen. This is very sharp. And look at it. That took a few minutes. And I was talking most of the time. So, like, if I wasn't talking, I would have done that in 3.5 minutes, maybe. Like the other one I did the other day, I forget what it was. Oh, well, actually, the other day, I think it was 4.5 minutes or something like that. Let me grab my garbage. So 4.5 minutes, you know, that's not damn bad. You know, doing a full-blown reprofiling, sharpening. I want to try this one really quick. So watch this strop. Now, let's see if it gets dark really, really quick. We'll use this side because it's a little lighter. Now, this is very thin, so this would be like the least of one that would, but I can already see it getting dark already. Like, look at that. Do you guys see that? That just left that line right there. Watch this. Look at that. You guys see that? It's like I'm drawing on this thing. Watch this side. There's nothing right there. The stuff is very, very aggressive. And I mean that in the best possible way. That means that it's working. That means it's removing what we want. Wow, that has a lot of bite. Lots and lots of bite. All right, let me put this back. Now, if we want to do the ultimate sharpness test, we'd take a piece of paper towel and we would slice through that puppy. And as you can see, it is paper swirling sharp in a matter of a couple minutes off of a $39 sharpening system. But this is the thing with this. This is proper. So with this knife, right, or a lot of these knives, let's say this one, right, ZDP 189. This is 65 to 67 HRC. This is hard as fuck. I don't want to sharpen. Now, technically, because this doesn't have big carbides or anything, I technically could sharpen it on other stones. But like, say, M390, 20CV, LMAX, I mean, probably even crew wear, all the super steels, right? All the premium steels, you don't want to sharpen on regular stones. You need diamonds, right? Because the carbides in the steel won't get cut. That's the thing. And they've shown this. It's been proven. If you look at it under a microscope that's way better than mine, right? I can't even get that close. Sorry, guys. I'm coming in right now to read the comments. If you have a microscope, you see that the carbides aren't cut. And what happens is then the bevel is cut in with carbides hanging out. And then they shatter, and that leads to microchipping and all kinds of problems. Punch, man, thank you, sir. Sent 5 Neeves Knives gift memberships. Man, you're awesome, man. Thank you so much. Hell yeah. And then shout out to everybody in here that just became members. Just so you guys know, we got a giveaway coming up. So in our memberships, we teach knife sharpening and do giveaways. So come to make sure you show up. Make sure you, well, you'll have an opportunity as long as you're still a member. Because this thing, sometimes some of you guys win a membership and then you'll win a gift because you'll enter the giveaway, but then I'll pull it after you wind up not being one because sometimes it takes a couple weeks. But we have all the giveaway stuff right back there. And I'll tell you what, there's some real fucking good shit over there. Raven, as a question. Oh, thank you for the $20, Raven, man. I appreciate it. Punj didn't hook me up. Punj, he didn't get the choice. So Punj, they choose. I can't even choose, to be honest. So I can't pick who I want to be a member if it's a gift. The internet does it. So I know we tried to do that because we wanted to be able to hand them out to certain people, and we can't. We were trying to be biased as fuck, and they wouldn't let us. But it's probably better. But Jason sent 1 Neeves Knives gift membership. Man, shout out to you, man. Thank you. You just gave some love to somebody, because if one of these guys are smart enough and continue watching the channel and see when I do my next members video or members live or whatever, they're going to be able to win some shit maybe. So we do have quite a few items too. It's not like we just do one, by the way, guys. We don't do just one giveaway. Like the last time, what was it, 8 we gave away? 8 gifts? And like most of them were premium knives. If you're a member through Rockstud, the premium member, for over 1 year, you automatically get a premium knife. So you have to be a member for 12 months in a row. With the Rockstud membership, you automatically get a premium knife. So you basically get all your money back and then some. Depends. Hey, Dakota, there's my homie. Sent 1 Neeves Knives gift membership. Thank you, Dakota. Appreciate you. So Dakota lives right here by me. Me and him were just together the other day. It's always random with the gifts. Yeah, it's random. If you want a membership, just sign up. It's only a couple dollars. The bottom tier membership is only a couple dollars. Premium tiers can request one-on-ones, and I actually had somebody that wanted to do a one-on-one. And then they also get the premium gift after a year. Jared, is your approach to sharpening different when you sharpen something with milled grinds? With a milled grind, like the blow rock. What is the blow rock? Are you talking about the grinds inside the blade like this? This is actually one of the gifts. Where'd it go? Oh, yeah, here it is. So this is just one of the gifts. I think it's the only fixed blade that we have in there right now. All the rest are folders, but this is a premium knife. Titanium handles, and then what did they put? S35 right here. You're talking about like this with this teeth. What was the name of this thing? The Tiny Dancer. So somebody's going to win this sucker. And, I tell people, anytime you win something on my channel, it's an opportunity, right? It's an opportunity. You don't have to keep it. You can sell it. You can do whatever you want with it. Maybe you need rent money. Maybe it can help you. I know there's been people that have won Rocksteads, Hinders, Cheryl Goroffs, on the channel, and shit, what if they were in desperate need of paying rent or something. Cue Ball says, really, I don't support you for a knife, Jared. You do such a thank you. I appreciate it, Chris. I know that, but it's still awesome for people to win stuff. And thank you, Dakota. I appreciate it. He sent me another one, another Neeves Knives gift membership. Shout out to the new member. Jason sent, man, you guys are fucking awesome, man. Thank you guys so much. Holy cow. Papa Pita says he's won 2 knives. Yeah, one guy during the whatnot giveaway stuff, somebody won 2 in a row, I think it was. And then you know, people have won multiple times. Like there's a few people, I mean, unless if your name is Two Bones Jones, you have a good chance of winning a lot of times in a row. Two Bones Jones can't win a giveaway to save his life. But we hook him up though. Yo, what's up, Beat Drimes? Shout out to him. Go check out his channel. He's started an EDC channel. I think he might have some other channels too, but he's got an EDC channel. He's got a great voice. He's very easy to listen to. His videos are broken down really nicely, and they're good to listen to. I'm telling you guys, go check him out. He does really good work. That new Spartan Blades knife that has a coil spring crossbar lock similar to the Benchmade's Anthem. Yeah, I actually just got in my prototypes. I'm gonna wait to show them. I shouldn't have even said anything. I'm gonna wait to show them because I want to do a video on them. I love your inmate knife through We Knife Go. Thank you, man. I was very happy with that one. I'm still extremely happy with it. I'm pretty sure it's all sold out. Somebody said they bought one like the other day, and I was like, where? Maybe there's because sometimes people, there's like returns, and some people, you know, need their money back. Some people buy them literally just to try it. And like, that's a thing that all companies have to deal with. You know, like you're going to get the guys who fucking order 20 things, right? And then return 90% of them. Let's grab the fixed angled system really quick, because I want to show you guys this deal, and then we are going to go back to freehand. But I want to bust out this guy so you guys can see everything that's going on. Let's lift you guys up here, get into business. So we got the case right here. Now, what's awesome about getting this package is this case by itself. I think if you break it all down, it's only like 50 bucks from them. But this would be a much more expensive case from anywhere else. This is a heavy duty, great case. And I love that I have this because I have fixed angled systems everywhere. I've got them fucking growing out of the roof. And so because of that, like I literally have had to create a lot of places for fixed angled systems. This is my easiest one right here. It's just bam, right in the fucking box. I love it. And then they break it all down. Check this out. They break it all down. So you guys can see that. They break it all down so you have all the stones. You got your rods. This is the extra stone holder that I was talking about. We're going to show that off in a second. You got digital angle guide, stropping compound, even though they have their new stuff. This is just a little deal we're going to pull out because we're going to use that. Now we're going to lift this sucker up because here is the system. Pull out all the parts. We're going to build it really quick. It takes 15 seconds to build. Then this part right here is for mini blades. Like if you want to do like a very, very tiny, like a pen knife. We're not doing one of those right now. Maybe we can later, but we're going to lock this puppy up really quick because we are going to use my stone set because I want to show you guys how they now allow you to use any stones. Before, if you don't get this, whether you get one of the other aftermarket ones, there are some aftermarket ones, but they're selling their own now. And this is really cool because you can adjust it for different stone sizes, which I'm going to show you in a second. But when you buy their system, if you don't get that stone holder, well, then you're going to be limited to only their stones. So, oh shit, forgot the rod. I gotta get this and then these two. So, and then that's it. I mean, you just screw these two nubs in and then pull this guy out. And now she is ready to go. Make sure they're nice and tight. And then, yeah, she's ready to go. To lower it back, you just click this little guy upward like that. And now she'll lean back, like say if you have to flip it because there's a big blade in there or whatever. There's a bunch of reasons why you might want to do that. This little guy is just a guy that goes right there. And all that's for is to be a base for this so it doesn't flex. I use it. You don't have to use it, but I always put it on because then it makes it to where there's no flex. My table's wobbling, but there's no flex. So now take this guy. Oh, you know what? We're going to take this off. What am I saying? So we are going to go this way with this. Take this off. This is the old one. So this is the one you would have to get their stones because it's a magnetic one, right? That's magnetic. And we're going to switch it for this guy. Which side are we using it on? So, okay, so I need it on this side. Yep, there we go. Okay, so we're going to go like that. Screw that puppy in like that. Then move this back. That's a little rubber. You guys can't see it. It's a little rubber deal so you can create a stopping point. I'm just moving it all the way back for right now. There's technically the other one right here that I forgot to put on. And you do want these because these create stops for you so you don't scratch your knife. And I'll show you exactly why here in 1 second. So you do want these little rubber guards. They're important. Okay, now when we want to change our angle to find our angle, all you do is turn this little sucker right there. That's how easy this thing is. It's so damn easy to use. It's great. This really was an amazing system they put together. All right, now these are the stones we're going to use. The Neeves Knife Co. bonded stones, which will be back in stock in like, I don't know, 15, 20 days. Don't quote me. We're waiting for them. Waiting for the hybrids right now. They said that they'll have them in 10 days and then they'll take like 10 days to get here. And that was a few days ago. The elk one gave me $1.99. Thank you, man. My skills have improved. A lot of watching a lot of your videos. Thank you, man. I appreciate you watching. And I'm glad they're definitely helping because that means you're obviously watching. Let me make sure. I got a USA Market resin bonded diamond stone, but I don't really like it because sometimes I dig in the stone. It feels like I'm cutting the stone. It doesn't happen with my bench stones. So I don't know what type of bench stones you have, but that really shouldn't happen. I mean, you can gouge a bonded stone. Which exact ones do you have? Is it the... Because they had their hybrids, or sorry, they had their resin bonded diamond, but then it depends on which ones you're talking about. I'm not sure exactly which stones because they have a couple different ones, but really you shouldn't gouge those. Those are not easy to gouge. So I'm not sure if something's wrong with yours or what grid are we talking about? Like, because as you can see, like, watch this. I can grab any one of these. So these are more resin-like. These are more vitrified. So here, I'll grab this one. Like if I couldn't gouge this if I wanted to. Like, I mean, I can, but not really. You know, it's tiny. So like scratching it like this is not going to happen. It just doesn't do anything. So because it's so hard. So I don't know, but I will say this. One thing is when you are gouging your stone, it's because you're raising angle. So that might be a benefit for you if you're having problems raising your angle because it'll tell you to stop doing that. Hey, Jared, I recently got my first Damascus knife and I need to touch up the edge. Is there anything I need to keep in mind or can I sharpen the Damascus the same as I do? You can sharpen just like all the other knives, but the thing is what company is it from? That's going to be huge, Chazo, because with Damascus, the biggest problem with Damascus, and I'm not talking about all Damascus, I'm saying with some Damascus, where the fuck is my soap? Some of the problem is that, oh, there it is. You will find that their heat treatments are not great mixed throughout. So you'll have, so like, let's say they use 2 different steels in them. And if they're not very, very compatible steels, what'll happen is then one steel will heat treat well and another steel won't. So you'll have a softer steel inside of it. And then that part the burr won't come off really well. The edge retention won't last as long. But when you have a good quality mix with a steel that does well with each other, then it's fine. Oh, it's Civivi? Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you just sharpen it up like anything else. So Civivi's using the 10CR Damascus. It's man, this stuff is very similar to Damas steel. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Maybe not as pretty because they probably don't put as much money into it to make it that pretty, but the shit is great, man. Holds an edge about the same. and sharpens up just the same. Like, you know, yeah, they do a really good job with that stuff. So yeah, you're good to go. Spyderco's bevel is usually wider near the tip because of this taper. Yes. So it's the grind thickness. So a lot of knives will do this where they'll be thinner here, and then as you get closer to the tip will get thicker. Some knives get thinner at the tip, but most get thicker. Like this one definitely gets thicker. So they put a high edge angle on this, but this one will have a bigger, like this will be the smallest part of the belly or smallest part of the edge. But from here to here, it'll just get thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker all the way up to the tip. So that's something like I was talking about earlier. If that's dramatic with freehand, you can adjust for that. And you don't have to have a dramatic bevel change. But if you're on a fixed angle system, there's nothing you can do. But fixed angles are a lot easier to use, as you're going to see here. I'm just going to move the tripod back a little bit. Sorry, guys. All right. I want you guys to be able to see everything. Are we good? No? Let me push you guys back just a little bit. Let's push you back, push you back, push you back. There we go. Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. All right. So we got our stones. We're going to pull it out. We're going to start with our silver. Now, if you get a bonded set, get yourself a conditioning stone. This is Nagura. You can find them on Amazon down in the links. If you go to my not Neeves Knife Co. So there's Neeves Knife Co. and then there's the Neeves Knives Sharpening store. It's just my Amazon store. I have Naguras in there. But this is just to go like this. And basically you're knocking down the bond and bringing out the diamonds. Now, you want to do this like every 7 to 10 sharpenings. Just depends on the thickness of the edge and how brutal the steel was. But anyways, just wanted to do that really quick. All right. So this is a 160 silver. This is a bonded stone. This is a very expensive stone. You don't have to get these. You can get just diamond plates. That's why I said if you want to, you could just literally stick with the what's in the set. This set comes with all the diamond plates you need, plus, was it 2 or 3? Is it 3? Yeah, 3 resin bonded stones. That will get you to a mirror polished edge. You don't need anything else on top of that. Now, if you're like a pro and you're doing a lot of sharpening and you're really fucking serious, yeah, then you might want to, because you'll be wearing diamond plates out a lot and this won't wear out, right? At least for a very, 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 very long time. And you can get the superior edges and so on and so on. But the difference is very small, right? That's why it's like, it's kind of like, let's say, if you were going to, I don't know, fucking train for boxing or something, right? And if you haven't done any training, right? It's not going to do you any good to go to elite training all of a sudden, right? Like that's not going to do anything for you. You need to train the basics first. Once you get great at that, then it'll be a big difference going and doing the other. But it's not going to be until you know what I mean? So getting just a regular system diamond plates and stuff is great. Once you start getting good, or when you're really getting serious, or if you're going to start a sharpening service, if you start a sharpening service, these are mandatory, like absolutely mandatory. You should, if anybody who has a sharpening service and doesn't have bonded stones, you should probably not want to send your knife to them, because they're not that serious, because you invest in your business, right? It's kind of like saying like, I don't know, it's a painter, but he doesn't even have paint rollers and shit or something. I don't know. Not saying you can't be, but do you guys see that? So we have this, so we can adjust this for the, like if I want to, I can grab one of my 4-inch stones and I can lock that in here right now. We're going to kick it all the way to there, lock it in because we want the 8-inch. And then now this guy, oh, you guys can't even see that. I'm sorry. Not that good. So this is the thing right here. We can have a 4-inch stone all the way to 8-inch. And then there's a trigger right here that's on a spring. So now when I were to lock this in, bang, locked right in. And that's quick. It's nice and fast, nice and secure. And now I can use this. So now what I will do is I'm going to adjust this all the way up. I'll go to there. And then this, if I need to, what I can do is I can take this off. What is that? torque. I'm just guessing what bit size it is right now. Damn, I'm good. Oh, come on. All right, I gotta take this thing off the other way. She's being a little bitch. And I don't want to break it. I just want to remove this. I really want to remove this head really quick, so I might have to grip it and rip it. I'm just trying to take this off because I want this thing to be able to pull off the end. Like you guys will see here in 1 second. Why is it on there so deep? There we go. Whoa. Probably got wet. Yep, it did. That's what it was. It had gotten wet. I'll put some oil on it if I find it. I'll just set it right here. Put it back in a second. All right, so now we can go back, put this back on, and now this. Now I can see how right here, I'm not limited now to only right there because see, the edge is going to be like right here. So now I can go all the way, right? That's why. And then check this out. You can always store your stone. Not sure if it'll work with this stone holder, so I'm trying it out for the first time. But this is a little spot right there for you to take and put your, I guess this stone holder doesn't do it, but the other one will sink right in there. This one does not. Well, I mean, no, it doesn't. So I'm not going to pretend like it does, but their original one does. So you can get it out of the way, you know, for storage or whatever. All right, so since we don't have that, let's move our rubber feet, set those also over here so we don't lose them. And let's pick a knife, pick a knife, pick a knife, pick a knife. What knife are we sharpening? Let's see here. I got a bunch of, you know what? I pulled out a pack. Where did I put it? There it is. I do have to sharpen up actually that one knife. That's one of my cousin's knives. Guys, my cousin, one of my cousins, is a concrete worker, and he got one of the offenders, and he fucking used it for concrete. That thing is fucking, yeah. I'm gonna clean it up though. I'm gonna clean it up for him. Okay, what is this? D2 steel. We don't need a Japanese tanto right now, but we could do a Japanese tanto. We could also do a recurve tanto, but nah, that one's a tanto too, I think. We have a spider coat. We could do a spider coat. Or we can just do something completely different. I do have a lot of knives around me right now. So I also have the bug out. I do need to, yeah, that needs a new edge. I need to replace the scales on there. I got some new ones. We got a couple of fixed blades here too. I do have one acrylic. Oh, here we go. You know what? This is my boy Bama's. I'm going to tune this puppy up. How about this? This is what we're going to do. Nice, beautiful drop point with a dual grind. So it's thinner here and thicker here. All right, so let me read the comments, and then we're going to get to sharpening. You wouldn't hire a painter if he doesn't have paint speckle all over his pants. Right. Damn right. Exactly. Yeah. If a motherfucker shows up, and I've said this so many times, like if a guy shows up and you look at his hands and they're like perfectly clean, no callus, no nothing. You look at his shoes are just spotless pants, you know, looking fresh. And he says he's your painter, you're going to ask him, like, are you the owner or something? Like, because this don't make no sense right now. Like, just like a mechanic. If I show up to a mechanic shop, your hands better be black. Like, they gotta be black, right? Your pants better be black. I want, you know, not saying there's not like some mechanic shops for like sports cars where they are a lot cleaner, but most mechanics, they're pretty fucking, it's filthy. But that's the name of the game, right? I've never worked on a car without getting filthy. So listen to the wisdom here, y'all. He's got a great point. Thank you, Dakota. How long would you say, like the KME stones, for example, or Worksharp Precision Elite stones last for, like the 1/600? So it depends on if you're talking about the bonded or you're just talking about the diamond plates. So diamond plates, they're all made differently. So some last longer than others. It depends on the brand, depends on everything. The Worksharp ones, they've lasted a while for me. I've always thought that they were good. Because like I said, my field sharpener, I used that for like 5-6 years. And now, don't get me wrong, it's burnt up. Like, it's not unusable. I can sharpen on it right now. I promise you, I can sharpen a knife up completely. So it still sharpens. And that's after 5-6 years. But it's not cutting like it used to, right? So what will happen with certain grits, right? So like, let's say it's 100 grit. Let's just say it's 100 grit stone. Yes, it will probably last you a couple years of serious sharpening. 2 years, probably. Let's say 2 years it'll last you with serious sharpening. At least one full good year, but probably 2. But 6 months down the line, it's not 100 grit no more. It's a 300 grit. And then by the end of the year, it's like a 350, you know, and then it's just losing grit as it goes. So now your first stone that's supposed to cut fast is cutting slow as shit. Yes, it works. Yes, you could still sharpen on it, but it's taking 3 to 4 times as long to cut the same knife. So that's the problem with diamond plates over time. Now, that's not a problem in the short time, but that's why they're more affordable. You know, it's diamond, right? Diamonds are expensive. So it's just, you know, if you're going to use the hardest thing on the planet, CBN or diamond, it's going to cost you. But getting resin bond, those ones aren't going to wear out. Those are going to last you damn near a lifetime. So this is really easy. All you do is you just pinch this, the jaws. It's got a nice little rubber teeth in there, so it's not going to scratch the knife. And then you twist this guy. Let me turn it towards me so I can get it. All right, I think I might need to. There she goes. She was just locked open. All right. Now you just rotate that. Trying to make sure this line on the bevel is nice and even while it's clamping. There we go. I love your content. It's helped me out many times, too many times to count. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. So we have the resin bonded diamond here. We got the fixed angled system. And now because we have this rod that'll stay, you know, going like that, all we want to do is we want to get to the heel. So I don't want to go too low with the stones. I do notice this does have a little bit of rock to it. I do have a different version, like a Hapstone version, but this is actually Worksharp's version, so that's why I wanted to use it. I'm not sure if there is a way to lock it in stronger. Let me see really quick. Let me just. Yeah, it does have a little bit of movement. You know what? I'm gonna use the other one. So yeah, I haven't used this one that much. This is like the first time really using it. It's fine, but the rod, did it come with a rod? Maybe it came with its own rod and I can't fucking remember. I'm gonna feel so bad if it did. But I don't think it did. But I'm gonna go grab my other one really quick. Just take me a second. You guys can still hear me, so it's not like I'm going too far. I have some of where, oh yeah, wait, it's over here. I think I have one in here. Not 100%. Let me just check really quick so you guys can hang with me. I'm not positive it's even in here, but yeah, we got one in here. Okay, so we're gonna grab this one. This should work just fine. So this is the one from Hapstone. Yeah. See, that one doesn't have any movement. So, you know, you can find these on my Hapstone link. Just go to my Hapstone link and then just type in Worksharp up at the top search bar after you click the link. Now, let's change the angle. We are going down to, and maybe it was just because I was at such a high angle. Let me, maybe I should try it again. Let me just 2 seconds, guys. Sorry. I just want to see if that had anything to do with it, because I don't want to talk shit. No, it still doesn't. Okay. So Now this one, I don't need to put soapy water on, but I do have dish soap and water right here. You just put enough dish soap in a bottle that when you shake it up, the bubbles expand enough to where you stop hearing it slush back and forth. So we are at about 17 degrees right there. I want to make sure I'm not going to hit the stud. Okay. So I'm really close to hitting the thumb stud. And if I go too far over, I will hit it. So I want to be careful. These are not like easy to remove ones. Let me just look at this really quick. Okay. So let me, lower you guys like that so you guys can see everything. Maybe even turn you guys just a little bit like that. And so what I'm doing is I'm going from heel to tip. I'm going to try to start at the beginning of the stone, and I want to apply very little pressure because you don't want to apply a ton of pressure and flex everything. You want to let the diamonds do their work on something like this. This is a low angle, so I am close to the stone holder, but I'm obviously doing just fine sharpening it. This section up here is a little thicker, so I might work on it a little bit by itself, but I never, ever will work on one little part by itself without blending it in. So anytime, if I work on right here, I'm going to go like 5-10 passes, and then I'm going to go heel to tip, 5 or 10 passes. I want to blend it in. The reason why is because while this is thicker, so it's going to take a little longer, we don't want our bevels to be unmatched. And if you're working on one part longer, it will start showing, especially if you keep doing it. So like right there, how I just worked on that one area because I could see a little spot I need to work on. Now I'm going to blend it. Always blend. Anytime you're working on an area, blend, blend, blend. And make sure your scratches are going from heel to tip. You can go straight up and down like this. You can do that. I like, if I'm going to do, I usually go side to side like that. Now, if I want to work on one area right there, I will end by taking my scratches and going at an angle. So I'm basically going like this. And the reason why is because just like, let me get a big knife. If you look at this knife, right, the teeth are going this way because that's the direction I cut, right? When I chop, I want the teeth to go into what I'm chopping, right? I don't want them to be backwards, right? Now, being straight up and down, it'll still pretty much do the same thing. The thing is that that's harder to keep going forever, right? When you strop at an angle, right? So now when you strop, you're going to be crisscrossing your serrations. Now, this is very minuscule things. Like a lot of people aren't going to worry about this shit. I do, because to me, I want the best edge and I want the best performance. I want my stropping to go the best possible way. I want everything to go as optimal and as good as possible. So what I will do is I set it up for success. I make sure all my scratches are running at an angle. I make sure that they're nice and uniform. I make sure they're not crisscrossing, because just think about this. Think about a saw blade, right? Would you buy a saw blade with teeth going both directions? Like, unless if it's made to be that way to cut like concrete or something. But I'm saying like for a regular like saw for wood or metal, like all the teeth are going to run the same direction. That's my point. Even if there's like 3 large and 1 small, or 2 small and 1 large, they're still all running the same direction, typically. Now somebody's going to find a fucking saw blade and send me a picture like, not all of them. Not all of them. This one cuts fucking alien bar. And all right, I forgot to give you my Yojimbo. Yeah, give it to me next time. You wouldn't hire. Oh, I read that. All right, I gotta catch up. Sorry, guys. Even with the immense light amount of pressure that you are putting on it, you can see the reflection that the knife has some wobble to it. Well, no, my table wobbles. It's my table. This is, yeah, I mean, I can flex it a little bit. It's the knife though. It's not the system. See, I'm pushing really hard right now. Trust me. This is what's moving. So you know what? Let me try to clamp the knife just a little bit harder. It's a little bit better. it's, you know, it is what it is. There's some that I can sink all the way in and those do really well. They kind of want you to do that. Let me see if I can't not cut my finger and get this out really quick. And let me see if I can't push it back farther. No, that's hitting right there. Because they do say to try to get it back as far as possible. I bought a 3D printer support for the Worksharp. Well, they got this thing underneath there. I got that. I got this thing. So that stops the flex from this. That's a lot better. I'll be honest, that's a lot better. Appreciate that. Because I wasn't feeling that. I might have to do a little bit more on this side now because my angle is going to change a little bit now because I reclamp, right? Anytime you take the knife out and you put it back in, your angle is going to slightly change. I don't care if you got it as perfect as you possibly could, and it doesn't matter. It's always going to slightly change. Just like when you pick up a knife from freehand and you set it back down, it's going to slightly change. So what I always tell people is if you're going to pick your hand up and set it back down onto the stone, try to do, and what I'm saying is like if you're locked in and you're doing single passes, I'm saying like when you stop, right? Like let's say you set the knife down or something like that, pick it back up, it's going to be a little different. So always try to do like 20 passes at least, so that, because you're going to be close, right? You're going to be very close, but at least since you're so close, you can do 20 passes and it'll now be the same. I'm trying to think of what I can reference in that regard. It's kind of like, I don't know, say a hole, right? If a hole is dug 2.5 foot deep, right? And it's a perfect 2.5 foot deep hole. Then you jump back into it and you try to make it the exact same, right? I don't know, you might have to dig a little tiny bit to make the exact same hole, but it's not going to be much different. Like, you know, if maybe a little bit fell in or something like that. I don't know. That's not a good reference. So I fucked that one up. Some things just don't add up to sharpening. I try to come up with like references and stuff that that'll help people, because usually I can, but like the pothole one works. But all right, so the tip, we never allow our stone, the center of the stone, to go past the tip. Why? Because when we go like this, as soon as it gets to right there and it's touching the tip, right? Now the tip's here, 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 here. It's right in the middle right now. As soon as it goes past there, watch what's going to happen. See how it's rolling? It's falling. It's going to fall like that, and it's going to literally round your tip. Each time you do that, and you will do that, in the beginning especially, you're going to fuck that up. It's going to be a nightmare to get out. I'll be honest. And that's why it's better to be patient. Every time when you're rushing at the tip, you're going to go wheep, and it's going to happen, and it's going to take you 10 more minutes to get that out. And if you do it twice, it'll take you 30 more minutes. 3 times, you might be there for a couple of days trying to get it out. So try to stop. So what I do is I will stop the second my stone passes the tip, I stop. Sometimes I'll allow it to go right to the center, but I'd never let it go past the center. But usually as soon as the edge of the stone passes the tip, that's as far as I'm going, because I know it's hit, right? The stone has hit the tip. Even if the scratches are not hitting the tip, my stone is there. So what's happening is this steel right here is a little bit thicker than the steel right at the tip. So what's happening is, okay, here's an example, right? Let's say this is my edge right here, and let's say this is the tip, right? If I take this stone and I'm sharpening right here, I can't get the tip right here, right? Why? Because the stone's up higher, because this is a higher surface. This is the pothole statement I just made. If I have a pothole in the middle of the road and I have to grind down the road to get the pothole out, how long do I have to grind for? Until the fucking potholes are gone, right? There's no other way. I can't do it any other way if I have to get rid of a pothole without filling it in, and I have to grind the road down. I have to grind it all down, and then finally you'll see the pothole start getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Same thing with the tip. This steel might be up a little bit higher than the very tip. So what's happening is my knife will go, or the stone will go right over the tip, and it won't even hit it. You just need to work on it longer, and eventually the tip will match the same. Now, I'll be honest, I tell people that it's irresponsible if You've gotten everything perfect. You've got a burr, it's a big burr. You've removed a lot of steel, and there's just a little tiny dot that hit. Get it on the next sharpening. You know, get it on the next sharpening. Even if it takes you 2 or 3 sharpenings to get it, who cares? It's not going to affect anything. It's just going to be a visual thing. So I do say that to people. Just the tip, just the tip. This tip is actually getting hit fairly decent. So this one's not too big of an issue. I think this knife's been sharpened before. I gave this to my boy Bama for a gift. So now I'm going to pull this back and I'm going to flip the knife over to the other side. I didn't need to take this off. I only took it off to get it out the way. And I don't have a burr yet, right? I did not create a burr yet. But this knife hasn't been sharpened to that degree yet. I can just tell it's like basically been like lightly sharpened. If at all, it probably still has a factory edge. It doesn't, it's hard to tell. Anyways, I can tell something's happened. It's not just a fresh factory edge or anything. I don't want to go all the way until I have a burr right now because I'm putting a lower bevel on the opposite side. I want to remove steel from both sides. Now, in many cases, like if you have a thin knife like the first one we did, you don't have to do that. You just get a burr and then, you know, wait till you get a burr, then flip. In this case, because it's a little thicker, especially up in here, I want to make sure it's even because what will happen is sometimes you'll put so much work into the other side that now when you get to the opposite side, it's going to go really fast and the bevel won't match. So this will help us make sure the bevel's going to match. Definitely the better system, 100% costs more, but worth it if you want. Yeah, if the more you spend, the better. Always. That's the way it is for everything sharpening related. It is not like the $50 system or the $100 system is going to be as good as the $500, $600, $700, $800 system or $1,000 system for that matter. They're never going to add up. Every dollar takes away a frustration. That's what you're paying for, right? So every expense is taking away a frustration. Let's say your stone is wobbly, right? Well, with the more expensive one, it won't be. Like, let's say your clamp flexes, or let's say the parts are very cheap and they're going to wear out fast, or whatever. There's so many different things, but the more money you spend, the easier. Or even this, how difficult is it to clamp? How difficult is it to find your angle? What if I switch stones? Well, now I have to change my angle, but do I have something to adjust for that? Expensive systems do. I'm going to get this heel really quick because I don't want to hit that thumb stud. So I'm just going to kind of get it and then blend it in up to the tip. Get this tip without knocking it over. Another thing I like to teach sometimes is put your finger underneath right there. And then what'll happen is you're kind of poking yourself a little bit, but what you're doing is when you get to this point, you can feel the stone hit the tip and it's not going to roll over because my finger's blocking it. This can prevent you from rounding your tip. So I sometimes do it still too. Actually, in many cases I do it, but I like to teach it because it's a huge thing to learn. And because you're going to need, when you first start, you got to get the muscle memory of stopping at the tip. Even when I knew this, I still rolled and rounded a lot of tips. And it's just pure from not having the muscle memory of the stopping, right? So what you'll do is you'll go like this and you think you're doing a little area, but really you're going way farther than you need to. But that just comes with experience, you know. Do you feel the holder at the end of the guide rod is more consistent than the stock Worksharp handle? I feel like you get more consistent pressure with the stock handle. This one fits on the rod pretty perfect, so it's not much different. So no, I don't notice much of a difference. It might be just preference for you, and there might be a subtle difference. not big enough that I'm really noticing. You don't have to get this. You could literally just get their system with their magnetic stone holder. That does work really, really well. And then every time when your diamond plates wear out, you just buy the new set. And you have resin bonded diamonds in there that'll last you a very long time. I believe they're only like 1 millimeter thick, but they'll still last a long enough time for you, and that will get you up to a mirror polished edge, or at least close, like pretty much. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it, man. 5 best sharpening systems. Yes, I do have my top 5 favorite sharpening systems. However, I do have a top 10 coming up, just so you guys know. Top 10's coming up soon. Thank you, Todd. He's putting up all kinds of videos, fixed angled sharpening videos for you guys. Thank you, Todd. But the Worksharp system, though, this is my most recommended, you know, for this price. So I just say it right here. If this box did not exist when I did the top 5, just putting that out there. They took my recommendations from that top 5, like this and stuff like that, and they made it. They made exactly my complaints. They even added the bonded stones because I was talking about, hey man, people want to get bonded stones, so now they're going to have to buy a stone holder like this in order to buy my stones or somebody else's stones in order to, you know what I mean? So they made their own, or had their own made, which is great. So what I'm saying is, if you're on a budget, spending the money to buy this is going to get you every single thing you need to start sharpening. Everything. This will not come without any. You will literally have everything you need to start. Now, does that mean you're not going to have some things you're going to want in the future? No, we're all going to want to add other little things, but you'll have everything you need. Now, like, let's say if I recommended you any other system, don't matter, name that system, TS Prof, Hapstone, doesn't matter. Name that system. I'm going to tell you, you got to get this, and this on top of that. And you're going to look at it like, well, the system's like $600 just by itself. It's like, yeah, you're just getting started too. You're just getting fucking started. You got a lot more to go. Add another $1,000 on top of that. So this for $400, you're getting everything you need to start sharpening. So it's good enough. It's a good system for somebody sharpening small to medium-sized knives. I've clamped pretty big knives in here. And you have all the stones you need. You have a digital angle finder. I didn't use it, but there was one in the thing. I could have put it on here. I didn't show you guys that. I should have, I guess. I just used this, but let's see what angle we're at. Fuck it. I'm actually kind of curious now. And they have their bonded stones in there. And so we go like this. And it still has a battery charge, or has a charge. That's crazy. I keep undoing it. There we go. Let's see what the angle is. 16. Oh, so I said 17 degrees, didn't I? So that means their scale's pretty fucking good. You can see where I thought 17 was. So, hey, not too bad. Not too bad. Your boy knows how to check angles, doesn't he? I also have the numbers there to reference. All right, let's do this tip really quick because I see I need to. What does system be okay to sharpen the cold steel Espada? The XL, you could get it with this. So I'll say the Espada XL is probably going to be similar, maybe similar to that. You could absolutely get it with this. So I don't know if the thickness of the jaws, I don't know what the thickness is, but you can check that. But if you want like something to be able to get really big knives and you're going to do a lot of them and you're going to be doing them often, you know, TS Prof has a big system. But again, like I was saying earlier, for big thick shit, I'll use the belt sharpener. Like that's the time when I think that's deserving, right? Is when you're doing fucking knives like this, axes and shit. Like check this out. You guys want to see something cool? Check out what I sharpened the other day. We'll get back to sharpening in 1 second, but I sharpened this the other day. Just wipe it off because I was using it. Otherwise, you're not gonna enjoy what I actually did to it. And I have another video coming because I lost, like I said earlier, I lost all my film. So I don't have anything from this. So I'm going to redo it and I'm going to do it even better. But look at this. We put a motherfucking mirror polished edge on a damn hatchet. And so what I'm going to do now, because the video got lost and now I don't have the footage of this, I'm going to do a new one and I'm going to polish this entire bevel down. It's going to be fucking brutal. What I did, by the way, was I took a TS Prof K03 and I clamped in my 3x8 Atoma diamond plates, and then went to bonded stones after that. I used 3x8 stones, freehand sharpening stones in a fixed angled system. That's just batshit crazy, but hey, it worked. It did work, and I was really happy because I'll tell you what, it went a lot faster. Come on, buckle, you son of a bitch. All right, let's get back to this. I got to blend this in really quick. Okay, this tip is not getting perfectly yet, so I'm going to put my finger there. How well are the Works knives? Some look pretty wonky. I wouldn't recommend them that much. I mean, I mean, I have a couple videos coming, some shorts. I don't want to dog them out too much, but I think there's problems with the heat treatments. The knives are built very well. They're very sturdy, they're overbuilt knives to some extent. So I wouldn't say they're wonky, but I'm noticing some heat treatment things. Now, I don't know if it's necessarily the heat treatment's bad. I think it's just soft. Like more softer than you would want. Now, people would argue it's a fucking fixed blade. You're going to be prying and chopping and batoning through it. Yeah, probably. So maybe you'll want that. Me personally, I want it to be harder. And yes, because to me, the geometry is thick enough, right? So if your geometry is thick like they are, then making a harder steel, you're not really losing anything because it has the toughness from the geometry, right? Like if I take let's say Rex 121. Rex 121 is one of the most brittle, weakest steels ever. If I take a 1/4 inch stock thickness of a knife, or let's go 1/2 inch, fuck it, 1/2 inch, right? The blade stock is a 1/2 inch thick and it's this wide, right? And it has a flat grind going down to a bevel. And let's say it's 20, or let's say it's 35 thousandths behind the edge at 20 degrees per side. That is I'm going to be able to pry things with that, no problem, even though it's Rex 121. Now, if I took the toughest steel in the world and gave it this geometry, it's going to break, right? If I wanted to, like if I pry with it or if I do something tough on it. Geometry is the most important thing when it comes to toughness. I don't like that we are in yesterday's thought process on steels from some companies, and I'm dealing with a couple companies right now with that where they don't know really, and these are knife companies that make knives, but they don't know that they're using 20 year ago information, right? Like what the standard HRC is for blank steel, right? It's like, yeah, if you like want something, you want it dog shit soft, if all you care about is strength and toughness and you care nothing about edge retention, then yeah, maybe you'll want it that damn soft. But most people are going to use it like a knife, and we want a cutting tool. And even if you're going to want a hard use tool, just make it thicker, right? If you're using a steel that's not that tough, or if you're using, whatever, you guys know what I'm saying. I don't think I need to go any deeper. Guts Kaiser 10V isn't very good. So I had good experience with their 3V and their 4V, but yeah, the 10V, it's not going to be so. Never think that because you find a steel, and I'm not saying anything bad about Kaiser. I love Kaiser. I recommend Kaiser all the time. Kaiser is an amazing company to do an amazing job. But this goes for any company. Any company that can give you a steel that's a premium steel and give it to you for much less, they have to be cutting a corner somewhere. They're not able, for example, like Yeah, this knife just doesn't clamp well in this clamp, but I mean, it's fine. I'm sharpening it, but if you take a second, did I get a burr yet? No. I think I'm gonna use a little bit of water on this one right now. I haven't used water on it really, but let's see if it's gonna help. But if you take a steel like M390, you can't compare, say, WE Knife Co's 20 CV and M390 the same thing. You can't compare 20 CV from WE Knife Co, which is $350, $400, to your $75 titanium M390 knife. Sorry, it's not going to compare. The corners that have to be cut to do that M390 like that for that cheap, they're not going to be able to do a better heat treatment. Now, like certain companies, now that's not saying just because it costs more, you're getting better. I'm not saying that either. So don't take me there. I can name many cheap knives right now that'll fucking outperform very expensive knives. But it's the company. It's about the company and their integrity and what they want to do and what's important to them. So, you know, you just got to be careful. Don't think just because you bought a steel that it's good, right? It doesn't matter if it's a good steel. A good steel, like it's kind of like cake, right? Or steak. Cake and steak is only as good as the motherfucker cooking it, right? It's like if I could cook a cake right now, bake a cake, not cook a cake. I could bake a cake right now and absolutely undercook it and it'll be doughy as shit. I could also burn the shit out of it and it'd be like a brick. And then I can also do it just right where it tastes perfect, nice and soft. Yes, she's got that cake. Now we got a burr. We got a burr in the belly, but not in the flat. So we're just gonna go a little bit longer right here and blend it all in. So you get what I'm saying? So don't think just because the steel is blank steel, it's literally like saying a steak or a cake, right? Oh, it's I don't know, Flaming Young or whatever steak you want to say, or whatever cake, or you know, it's German chocolate cake. And you'd be like, oh man, you know, it's the best because it is. Well, no. Are you getting gas station quality German chocolate cake? Or are you getting grandma's German chocolate cake, right? Big difference. All right, we got a burr for sure. We're doing pretty good. Oh, it still feels like it's not there yet. Or what? Oh, I see. This corner right here is not getting hit because I think it's flexing a little bit. Have you seen the Kaiser Buddy? Oh, this is the baby. Yeah, I have the Buddy. But this one, man, I really like this sucker right here. But I do have the Buddy, yeah. This is fucking cool. Maybe we'll sharpen up this. Look at how thin that blade is. They did a really thin blade, 154 cm. Love the geometry. Love the blade shape. Just like a perfect for pinch grips, cutting down flat surfaces, slicing, all that shit really good. Perfect sharpening tool and plunge grind. Good gas station knife fighting grip. That's a cool one. I really like this Kaiser. But yes, Kaiser has a lot of great fixed blades. All right, we are almost done with this. I need to condition these stones again. I barely did it. I should have actually did it before we went live because they need it bad. I haven't done them in a while. So I would do it right here. Maybe I should. Maybe we'll do that in 1 second. I would love to see you sharpen a 1/2 inch stock of hardened Rex 121 at like 72 HRC. I know you're good. 1/2 inch stock? Well, 1/2 inch stock, yeah, that'd be fucking crazy. I meant the blade is a 1/2 inch stock and then it still goes down to an edge. So that's why I said 25 thousandths behind the edge. So yeah, I've sharpened that 100 times already. I have a knife right now in Rex 121 that's probably 20 thousandths behind the edge. It's not a 1/2 inch stock because I know what you're saying. The 1/2 inch stock means it's like this. So when you're sharpening this, it's much thicker back here, right? I know what you're saying. And you're right. Yeah, that would be a nightmare. It would be an absolute nightmare. But my point is, you get my point though, right? You get my point. But yeah, you're right. I wouldn't want to do that. Not at all. Is it okay to sharpen my knife back and forth like that? Yes. I thought you sharpened in one. No, so check this out. Just so you know. Oh, hold on, let me see. I'm new. Okay, so that's fine. I'm glad you're new and learning. So I have tons of videos. I got beginner tutorials. I got everything you need to know about sharpening. I got thousands of videos, hundreds of just sharpening, but I have hundreds that aren't even in the sharpening playlist, but I do have a sharpening playlist to have most of all the sharpening shit. Anyways, yes, you go back and forth as long as your angle is staying the same. That's the big difference. Most people, when they go, if you're doing freehand, right? If you're doing freehand, if you can hold the angle perfectly, then you can go back and forth because you're doing the same scratch pattern, right? This is doing the same thing as this. Like, you see what I'm doing? I'm just doing the reverse. So the teeth are still going the same direction. The point is you want in the end, your serrations all running at an angle. Think about a saw blade or a serrated edge, right? A serrated blade. What do they look like, right? They all look the same from heel to tip, all running the same direction. That's what you want. The same thing with this edge. Microscopically, that's what it is. It's a serrated blade. What you don't want to do is go this way, this way, this way, right? Do all this shit. You don't want to do that because going this way like this is putting the scratches like this, right? We want the scratches all running the same direction, right? So if you do go back and forth, just make sure you're going, like if you go right here, go up and down like that lightly, that's fine. Just don't do it for a long time before you blend it in. And when you blend in, you can go back and forth. Now, yes, you can also do single passes like this. But when you're on the stone, you can go back and forth. It's just going to make things go a little faster. If you're using a fixed angled system, especially because it's holding the angle is the same. The biggest deal with going back and forth that people have problems with is convexing. Because when people sharpen, right, like on a stone, they'll go like this. Watch when I'm, well, let me grab a different color. Let's just use this. Same fucking color. There we go. So when I'm coming this way, I'll go like that. And then when I'm coming back, I'll go like that. So what I did there was I went like this. So that means I'm raising my angle and dropping my angle. And that's why people mess up. Now, if I hold it perfectly, like right now I'm going to, where I'm not dropping or raising my angle, even when I go to the tip, I can do it very easily without changing angle, then you're fine. You can do it. It just takes experience. But when you're in a fixed angle system like this, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because it's holding the angle for me. Okay, we have the burr, almost a burr. And then we're going to switch to a new stone. All right, so we're moving to the next stone. That one took a little bit longer because this was what looked like a factory edge that had been honed a bunch of times, lightly touched up probably on a stone, so it needed a full reprofile. Now we're going to move to the, well, this isn't the right stone. 285. Moving to the 285. This is a vitrified diamond. The new vitrified stones that we're going to have on the site will be CBN. Technically, that is a little bit of an upgrade for the same price, though. The price won't change. Slightly better, but not that big of a difference. Most people can't even tell, but okay. Now, I should have said this before I even just did that. So I had my burr, right? I was working on this side, right? Now we're going to this side, so my burr is on the top, right? So when I go like this, I can feel the burr. If my burr's big and it's not like super tiny, I will start at the tip, right? And I will basically do a stropping pass down to the heel. So it's tip to heel, stropping pass. Because like I was saying before, our serrations are all running one angle. So there's a serration and then the burr is folded over the edge, right? So when we do this, we're basically like, think about if you have a lot of teeth all facing this way, if I come in this way, what am I hitting? I'm hitting the tips, right? If I come in from the back side, I'm hitting the back of it, right? So domino rally, right? That's kind of the concept there. All the teeth are facing this way. So if I just plow through it this way, it most likely won't be an issue. and you have more stones to go through, so you'll wind up working it out. But I have found that my edges are even better when I do that and less likely to microchip. Now, sometimes if I just strip a burr off, right, without fatiguing it or anything, that will actually tear material from the apex, that especially if it's like near the end of my sharpening where I'm not going to go through more stones, and that will show when I start using it. Hey, Kevin's been a member with the Benchmades for 21 months, almost 2 years, brother, man. Hell yeah, Kevin. I appreciate the support, man. Hey, Jared, what are your thoughts on ruby stones? So I have some. I used to like them. They're supposed to be like a 3,000 grit. Here's my thing. So back in the day, I got them and I was using them, but I was also using everything more affordable. So it was good for the time, right? It worked for the time. I wouldn't use it today, but it was good for the time. I tried to get a giant one because I only had small ones. I couldn't find any giant ones. I finally found a giant one, and then it never showed up. I wound up getting refunded my money, but they're good for beginners and they're good for softer steels. I wouldn't use it for like something like this M390 over, 60 HRC. I wouldn't use that. Or S90V, sorry, S90V. I would definitely wouldn't use it for S90V or M390. So the thing is by the time you get to 3,000 grit though, you're not really removing material. So would it be a big deal if I used it on this? No, not really. But I would just do, if I was you, right? I would save my money for the ruby and just get a Spyderco ceramic medium and then an ultrafine, or just get the ultrafine. So the medium I think is like about like 1,200, 1,500 grit. The fine is like 3,000 grit, and the ultra fine is like 5,000 to 10,000 grit, just so you know. So that is the way I would go if I was you, if you're trying to get an ultra fine edge. And to be honest, the ruby stone doesn't even give you nowhere near the finish of the fine or the ultra fine. Like it says it's 3,000, but it's more like 2,000. But it still leaves a good finish. I have videos showing. I actually liked it at one time, but like I said, it was good for the time for me, and I'm glad I got to use it. I'm really glad, because getting to go through all the stones I've went through, I've tested like everything on the market, so it's easy for me to talk to you guys about anything because I have tried them. I have tested all of them, and I'm glad I did because of the position I'm in now. But if I had to go back over it and I didn't have the channel, like let's say take the channel away, I absolutely wouldn't have done 90% of the shit I did, because I spent more time, more effort, more money. I'm talking about like a lot of fucking money. Like I have probably $20,000, $30,000 in stones that I'll never use again. Never in my fucking life. They'll wind up getting thrown in the garbage before I ever use them again. Like, so, but you live, you learn, right? That's why I tell you guys what I would avoid, because, and what I would get if I was you. And when I say it, I'm being honest with the regards. Nobody's paying me to say this shit or anything. I'm telling you exactly what I would buy if I was in your position, or even in my position now, because it's the same damn thing. Because I'll tell you what, the best thing that's for beginners is actually the best thing that pros use. Diamonds. Diamonds are the best. Diamonds are the best. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some Japanese water stones that are going to be maybe a little bit better for certain carbon steels, certain, chef knives and stuff like that, but not for high performance steels. Diamonds are the only thing you want for high performance steels, first of all, but then they also sharpen everything else, right? So the diamonds can do everything, while say a Japanese water stone can only do the softer steels. So that's the difference. Now they can, I don't want people to be confused. You can sharpen with, I have black stuff on my nose. I feel like I see something. You can sharpen on a Japanese water stone, say S90V, right? You can do that. It'll sharpen and it'll get sharp. But what'll happen is, because of, like earlier I was saying, the carbides won't get cut. So what'll happen is you'll think it's a good edge, and it'll look like a good edge, and it'll be sharp as shit. But then once you start using it, all of a sudden microchipping will happen. Some of the tests that I've seen, it basically lost, I think, like between 50 and 75% of its edge retention. So if it's a steel that's supposed to cut, say, 400 feet of cardboard, now you're down to about 100, 150 feet of cardboard because you used the wrong stones. So you don't get the performance out of the knife with the low performance stones. And you can actually go and see this online. Knife Steel Nerds has it. They have a thing showing like Arkansas stones, Sharpening K390, and then versus like CBN and Diamond. Now, there is a thing, though, with Diamond that I should mention, too, because a lot of people don't bring this up. Yes, I do have recommendations for recurves. We have a Burr from heel to tip. We're done with this stone. We're going to move on. And sorry, I'm not talking about the sharpening as much, but we're moving to 550 grit. What the hell was I about to talk about? I don't remember now. What the hell was it? It was something. Shit. I can't remember. If you guys remember, remind me. I'm not going to use the stones. Do giveaway, man. Well, I do. I do all the time. I give away stuff all the time. I sell, trade. I do all kinds of stuff. I got, but again, like some of the stuff, like I would rather give away something that I would use. I don't like giving, and I know this is stupid because a lot of you guys have told me like we don't give a fuck. I don't like giving away something that fucking I wouldn't use or that I don't like, right? Like I have obviously, like, you know, sometimes in some of the sales I'll sell stuff that I wouldn't carry or whatever. But I give you guys an option to buy it at like fucking nothing, you know, say an $80 knife that I don't like for 15, 20 bucks isn't that bad of a deal. And you know, if you want to pay more, that's on you because you bid on it. But certain stuff like doing giveaways, man, I feel bad, man. Like when I have a giveaway and like say there's a Gerber in there, man, I'm like, I'll give you something extra. Because I just feel bad because it's like, man, I wouldn't fucking want this. Now, that's not saying that some people it wouldn't be good for, so I get it, and that's why I do still give the stuff away. I still do it. I try to throw in a little something extra to sweeten the deals. But yeah, no, there are some stones that I have that actually are not bad. Like they are good stones. Like I do have some stones that it's like, yeah, these are worthy stones for sure. But I wouldn't recommend them over, say, just getting a set of diamond plates. Some of the stuff, though, I did buy just to test out, so I had the knowledge. But now I try to only recommend diamond, ceramic, and bonded. And then if you want a Japanese stone, I recommend Kings. King stones are amazing. I love King stones. They're some of my favorite stones to sharpen chef knives on. So if you're sharpening a chef knife, King water stones are phenomenal. I wouldn't recommend them for, like I said, super steels or anything, like steels that are modern steels, but if it's a carbon steel or, you know, a softer, when I say lower grade, I don't mean bad, but like a lower grade steel, a simple steel. That's basically what I'm trying to say, a simple steel. I would only recommend them for simple steels. Okay, we're already done with this side. So every stone goes faster after the first one, but remember, I went a little bit, the first stone, I removed a little bit extra on, to kind of make sure that, the apex was good. Okay, so now we are to, was it 1500? 1100, sorry, 1100 grit. And we're going to start getting into polishing here in a minute. Yeah, the 2-year Wrath. That's what this is. The 2-year Wrath. An S90V. Awesome knife. I think this is the first edition. They have a second edition and I think even a third edition too. Okay, I'm just going to put my arm into it. I'm kind of doing it backwards. so you guys can see it. Just give me 1 second. Make sure this is nice and even. And when you go across the belly like this, let the stone stay flat on the edge. Like as I'm coming across like this, when it gets to here, I'm going to let this side tilt. See how it's tilting? I'm going to let it tilt and go all the way to the tip. I don't want to keep it this way because now my tip's not getting hit, right? Because it needs to go that way. So I allow it to just rest on the edge and go around until it hits. I should have put this in the opposite way. I think I had it backwards. Not positive. Which knife belt sander do you recommend? So if you want like one specifically just for sharpening, you can get the Worksharp Ken Onion. I would get the MK2 over the original though, because it is much better. There's a bunch of upgrades. Now, if you want something bigger and more powerful, like more commercial, I mean, there's so many, man. There's so many of them online. I recently got one from VERO sitting over there. It works pretty good. Works really good. But that's going to be, you know, probably, it's not expensive or anything, but it's going to be maybe a little bit bigger than maybe what you want, right? The MK2, it's like a handheld system. You can carry it places, you can bring it, you know what I mean? So it might be easier for you rather than having something that's almost like a permanent thing. So it just depends on what you want, but that's a good setup though if you're looking for a belt. If you're specifically for sharpening, like yes, it does have a grinder attachment so you can grind things, but it's mostly for lawnmower blades, machetes. Like I've done lawnmower blades on it. So like there is quite a bit you can do on it. And like I've used it for grinding down tools, parts, everything, regrinding blades I've done on it. You can use it for a lot of things. Don't get me wrong. Like, especially if you have the belt grinder attachment along with it. And I do recommend getting that because I'll be honest, if you do get the belt sharpener from them, if you get the belt grinder attachment, you'll probably never use the other one. You'll probably always use the belt grinder attachment. It just works faster. And once you get the hang of it, it's better, which you'll probably get the hang of it pretty damn quick. All right, so now we are at 3K, 3,000 hybrid stone. So this is a hybrid diamond. Hybrid means it's a resin bonded diamond stone with a little bit more metal in it than maybe some other resins. So it's a mixture of resin and metal. But what I like about it is the amount of resin is higher, which is what I prefer for finer stones. I want more of a resin bond than a metal bond. But the metal is going to make it just wear a little bit less, a little bit slower, but it's not so much that it's not giving me the edges I want. Because metal bond stones, when you get to like a metal bond CBN, metal bond diamond to 3,000 grit, 5,000 grit, it's too hard of a surface for high performance steels, harder steels, high HRC steels. And something happens where it's just not allowing that apex to really peek out there. Yes, it sharpens up really good. Don't get me wrong, screaming sharp edges. But when you compare it to, say, a resin bond or a hybrid versus a metal bond, there's no comparison. Like, well, there's a comparison. They're both sharp, but it's very easy to see that one is much sharper. One holds more bite. Everything about it's better. And I think it's because, so I didn't know this, but I heard this, that they came to the same conclusion I came to. And I didn't read this anywhere. I just did my testing, and my testing showed that the metal bonded diamonds did good all the way up until about 1,000 grit, you know, but then after that, they were not as good as the other ones up to 10,000 grit. And then I found out that actually they had come to the same conclusion that that was true, that the hybrids, the resin bonds, or even the ceramic bonds did much better when in the finer grits than the metal bond. However, with soft steels, like soft chef knife steels and stuff like that. Supposedly, and I think especially like carbon steels do, so not necessarily just like any, you know, simple steel, but like carbon steels. I heard that the metal bonds can do better than for those particular steels. Maybe I should test that theory out, but the other theory, I did come to that conclusion. So it's very interesting that the makers of the stones came to the same conclusion. As you should, right? But sometimes two people testing the same thing can come to two different conclusions. You have preferences, you have things you do that are, you know, going to be specific to you. Okay, now we are to 5,000 grit. Let's get it. Look at how green this is. I love how green that is. Looks really beautiful. This is a very similar stone to what comes in the Worksharp, by the way. Let me show you. The bonded stone that comes in this system, I think they only go up to 3,000. So this is a 5,000. This is a 3,000. But as you can see, they're very similar stones. They have a very similar makeup. I would say that they are pretty much, I'm guessing that's where they're getting them from. So they are very similar in the bond. They might be more of just a resin, you know, not a hybrid, but they're really good. The big difference is this is 1 millimeter, maybe 2. Yeah, maybe it's 2 millimeters, and then this is 3. So it's going to last a lot longer. But I'm telling you, if you get the Worksharp system, the case, you got a good set, man. You got everything you need. You don't need to get anything else. You will eventually, just because you're going to want to, but you don't need it. There's certain things that are cool to have, but you don't need, right? Then there's certain things that it's like, it'd be better to have, but you don't need. Then there's certain things where it's like, it doesn't make a difference if you have it, but you just want it because it's fucking cool. It's kind of like if you're like, I don't know, like a race car driver, right? And like, let's say you're a drag racer, right? And let's say you want a different set of pipes or exhaust system, and it's not going to up your performance at all, but it sounds cool as fuck. It's like that. Where it's like, it's not going to help you win any races, but damn it, it's going to sound good. It's going to impress the ladies. Would like your comment on singing knives, please. If you've not handled, yeah, I don't think I know that one. Singing. Not sure if I've messed with those. Yeah, I don't do a sharpening service anymore, guys. If you need a recommendation, I do have somebody I can recommend. He's out of Boston, so I have a couple different people I recommend, but most of the people I started recommending now have too many customers, and I don't know if they can keep up with them all. So I have a new guy, which does really good work. You can go see his stuff on the internet. Boston Blades or something like that. If you message me on Instagram, I'll send the link to you. I message back everybody every morning on Instagram. So if you message me on Instagram, I will respond to you. If I respond to you, I might, and you say something back, I might not get to it until the next morning. Typically, if it's within that hour that I'm checking my messages, I'll answer it right away. But once I'm through with all my messages, I get to my next set of messages, which will be like emails and stuff like that. And I go through those, and then I might not see the Instagram messages until the next day. Now, sometimes I will. Depends on just how my day's going. Okay, so we are pretty much done. I'm just going to do a couple light passes, making sure my burr is nice and fatigued. We don't really have a burr because when you get to 5,000 grit, the burr is very small, but I still want to do simulated passes of a burr removal, because even though it's not really a burr, there's microscopic burr there, and I just want to peel it all off. Now that we're done, now we are going to get a strop, and because we have the stone holder, we can use any strop we want, but we wanted to use some of their stuff. Damn it. Maybe we should strop it by hand. You know what? Fuck it. I'll do this, and then maybe we'll do a different one by hand. Okay, looking beautiful. Pull this out. Good enough. Jared, do you have any issues with edge angle when you flip the clamp on your Worksharp Pro Precision Adjust? Is the angle the same from one side to the other? Yeah, I don't have any issues. Heel to tip is a different story than just the different sides, because a lot of knives are not going to be the same on both sides, heel to tip, and that's going to be a large amount of knives, right? Like a large, and I mean a large amount of knives are going to be very different one side to the other. So the angle is going to be slightly different no matter what. No matter what, there's nothing you can do about it, because this is thicker than this. You can't compensate for that unless if you do freehand. But if you're doing a fixed angle system, that's what I was saying earlier. You just have to deal with it. Just get it as close as possible. And if you do have a side which is smaller, right? Like let's say if this side, it goes at a higher angle, the other side has a lower angle, and so a bigger bevel on the other side, smaller bevel on the one side, just work on the smaller bevel longer. If you work on the smaller bevel longer, it'll even it out. Now we have a beautiful mirror polished edge, as y'all can hopefully see. Hopefully, I don't know if it's hitting the light or not, but no. It's a mirror polished edge. It's a beauty. Let's cut something. Cut a piece of paper first. Ooh. Dancing. Oh yeah. Not my fault. Ooh, look at how thin I made that. That was so thin. I'll show you. That one wasn't that thin. That one is. Those are all very thin. Paper towel. Let's do the paper towel test, which is the most important test. Whoo, right through it like butter, baby. We can do spirals, but my paper towel's dancing on me, so I'm on. Oh, we have it. We have it. Yeah, we're doing spirals. Not as clean as the other one, but that's geometry too. And steel, you know. So, but this is very, very, very sharp. And beautiful, man. Beautiful, beautiful edge. That bevel where it's smaller here and bigger up here because of the grind difference. I like that. I think it looks sexy. So this is a line right here because this is a hollow here and this is a flat here. This gets thick here. This is very thin. So that's why you see a difference right here in the bevel, but it's supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be a little tougher up here for cutting down on stuff. Maybe a little bit of light duty slice or prying. And then right here is for slicing stuff. So, you know, you can be a little bit slicier, or it can be a little slicier. The tip didn't get a hit 100% perfect as the rest of the edge, but it's okay. It'll come out on the next sharpening. Like I said, it's irresponsible to get out the tiniest little fucking prick of a you know, something off of the edge rather than just getting it out on the next sharpening, because it will eventually come out. All right, let's get a fixed or a freehand system going. You guys want to do some freehand sharpening, or you guys want to continue doing fixed angle? It's up to you guys. I'm down for whatever. Let me know what you guys want to do. Thank you for the hack offered on reducing the likelihood of rounding the tip. Yes, yes, that is huge, huge. I'm telling you, huge. When you start using it, when you start implementing it, you're going to see that you'll probably do it every time. I mean, I pretty much do. Freehand. Okay, so we have the good old bench stone here. I did pull out the rolling knife sharpener too. We could use the roller. I did bring out the roller. I'm just saying. Not saying we have to, I'm just saying I did. I pulled out the roller. I've had this one for a pretty long time, and you can see she's still kicking ass. I think I might have some new diamond plates for this. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know if this is for this. I can't remember if this is for. I don't think so. I think, no, this is for this system, the fixed angle system. Sorry. Okay, so this comes off like that. This pops right in just like that. Now it's locked in. So now you have a button right here, right? The button. So right now it's wobbling, right? So you might want it to wobble. We'll talk about that in a second. Or you can lock it. Now it's not going to wobble, right? So the difference and the reason why you might want it to wobble is for this reason, right? So let's make it wobble. Now it's going to wobble. So when you're coming across the stone, well, you know what? Let's not make it wobble. When you're coming across the stone, you have to get this entire blade shape, right? So when we're coming across the stone, me going like this is the same as me going like this, okay? Just so you understand what I'm trying to show you. So when I'm on the stone sharpening, I need to get the belly and the tip. How do I get it? I have to lift my elbow, okay? So when I'm coming across the stone, I lift my elbow and then I can drop it back down, or I can just go single passes, but I lock my wrist and my elbow so that when I come off the tip, and I drop my elbow, my angle is still the exact same. I have not changed angle. Even right now, my angle is still the damn same because my wrist is locked. It doesn't matter if I move around. I can go dancing. I can do whatever I want as long as I'm only moving my elbow and my shoulder, because all you do is drop it. I'm still at the same angle right now. So that's how you hold an angle. So in order to get the tip, I have to raise my elbow. When you have it in this motion, you don't have to. You just go straight across, basically. You might move it a little bit, but what's going to happen is once it gets to the tip, see the stone, it's going to move over. So you basically just go straight across. Maybe a little bit of movement, you know, if you slow down a little bit, you might raise it a little bit. It's good. It's cool. I personally like to move my elbow. This is a 20 and 25 degree bevel. We don't need these angle guides, but you can use them. So see how it's right there. So now what you can do is you can use this angle guide just like the field sharpener. And you see those lines I put there, just like on the field sharpener, same thing. This is 20 degree bevel. So what I can do is I can go lower, and now it's a lower angle. Every time I go lower and lower, it's a lower angle. I'm going to not use them at all. And we're going to start with this at 320, and we're not going to sharpen this thick bitch. Let's sharpen. We could sharpen the new Voss Steed. We do got the new Voss Steed in house. Should we do that? How you do that there? Or should we do something else? Oh, I do have a few knives over here we could do. Oh shit, I think I sharpened this, but I think I might have messed it up. No, it's still damn sharp. Damn sharp. Never mind. Wait till you guys see what's in this box. Watch for the video. All right, let's bust this one out. I guess maybe I should. I was thinking about sharpening one of my new prototypes on this live, but we'll save it. 123 people in here right now. Shout out to you guys. By the way, guys, I am doing a Whatnot live here pretty soon. I'll announce it. You guys will see it on video. You guys want to see the knife really quick? Here you go. Titanium handle. It's using the Vanker lock, which is a pivot lock. So you just push the pivot and it drops. You can also use that to deploy it by gravity, or you can use the detent by just flicking or front flipping. Titanium handle with some nice diamond texturing, and the blade seals M390. This is a numbered version. And yeah, it's basically what is, man, I can't even think of the name of their thing. The raccoon. It's the raccoon with the Vanker lock. Yeah, it's pretty fire. I like their stuff. So just so you know how the lock works, see that there's a thing right there. So this has a nub that falls into that groove. And it's basically on like a liner on this side, and there's a nub, and it drops in there, and then it hits the stop pin. Now, I have a, wait, oh, he's talking to them. Hey, Neeves, what's up? What's shaking, Paul? What's going on, brother? Freehand is Atoma better? Yes, Atoma is better than Ultra Sharp. However, here's the thing, though. I'm probably not going to get any more Atomas. Atoma is saying it's going to be 4 months, 3 to 4 months for me to get new ones, and they're trying to charge me like 50% more. I'm not fucking doing that. You're out of your damn mind. Like, that's like saying, why wouldn't I just buy 2 diamond plates of a different thing? You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. So I'm not paying double, like 50% more. Like, I can't ask you guys to pay. Like say if we got them for, I don't know, I'm just shitting numbers out. Let's say if we got them for 70 bucks a piece and we sell them for 80 bucks a piece, right? I can't then say, you know what, give me 120 a piece now. Like that's crazy. Ralph, or even actually be much higher than that. It'd be like 150 to $150 a piece. Also, if they just released new stones, 8x3 as well as double-sided ones. Yeah, so also Sharpall is also really good. You can get this base with this and an angle guide. It'll give you a little angle guide, kind of like these, but it has 4 sides. You can get the 325, 1000, and then they also have a 600 grit that I have down here. I just didn't pull it out, but this is how it comes. Well, you can get the stones like this, and it comes with a rubber mat, so you can lay it down, get a diamond plate, and then it's got 2 sides to it. So you could go this route if you wanted to, for if you want a large diamond plate. This is really cool because it's, I don't know how much it's going for now, but it's pretty affordable. And like, I think it was like 50 bucks when I got it. I don't know what it's at right now, but you're getting 2 diamond plates and a ceramic. I didn't even say it. Look at this. 325, 600, and a fine ceramic. This is very, very useful. Even if you wore out all the diamond plates, this is still useful. So this is going to last you forever. So what we can do now, we're going to lock this in. No wobble wobble. We're going to find our angle. This is so a little bit thicker behind the edge. We're not going to go too low of an angle. Let me take a couple passes and look at my edge. Okay, we're doing pretty good. So we are going to hold it about a 17-degree edge bevel, edge angle. I'm going to hold it a little bit back here. When I flip it, I'm going to pinch it. So, because I want to be as close to the edge as possible, but not where I can't reach, you know, the edge. So I want to be as close to the edge as I can get without hitting my fingers on the stone. Now I'm going to take these little fuckers and I'm going to set them on the stone. Now, when I go like this, I am not scrubbing them on the stone. They are floating. Like, I'm barely touching that stone. So, and you know, when you get to the finer stones, it doesn't matter because they're not aggressive enough to do anything to you anyways. Even this is not that bad. Maybe when it was brand new it was, but so lay my fingers down. Now you can do this with your thumb too, like this. All right. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna pick a spot, whether it's your pointer or your thumb. Thumb works best right here. Use the middle of your thumb, right? Then find that angle. Okay. Center your thumb. See how I just put a line there? Center your thumb, pick a spot. I'm gonna pick right there. So every time I'm gonna do the exact same spot. If you need to, grab a marker, mark. Actually, you should probably mark it for sure. I don't need to mark it anymore, but you should. Kobe, thank you for the 2 bones, brother. Appreciate it, man. What are you more proud of? The misdemeanor, offender, or inmate design? None. None of them. I'm proud of a design that I have coming because I have a few in the works right now. Right now I have a prototype, and that one's not exactly where I want it yet, but it will be. But it's the stepping stone to the one after it that's going to be fucking amazing. So that's the one I'm really, really proud of right now, but we'll see how it goes. Now, center your thumb, pick the exact same spot every time. Now I am matching that. Now I got that angle, and now I lock my wrist in my forearm. This is the angle I want. So now I don't need this anymore, okay? But I'm going to use it, but I don't need it. So I have my wrist locked, and now I can pull back. And now I can push forward. And now all I do is lift my elbow. Like I said, my forearm is locked. So now when I come back, I just lift up, drop my elbow back down, same angle. And then I just do that over and over. But you have to get the muscle memory of locking this in and not changing it. So you want to make sure, I'm still at the same angle right now. So you got to lock in. Now, it might be easier for you to do back and forth motions like this. If you can stay locked in, that's just fine. Go up and then drop back down when you come back to the heel. Now, sometimes I find that it's easier for me to do single passes. Sometimes it's easier for me to do back and forth. It depends on the blade shape, depends on the handle, depends on just how it feels. This one feels pretty good for both, but I'm guessing there is going to be a preference on one, which will probably just do single passes. So lock my wrist. Now if I need to, because I just set it down, now my angle's gone, right? I fucked up my wrist. So now I can take my thumb, I can put it right back on there, find my angle, make sure it's in the same exact spot too. Like if I was pushing on this black thing, put it on the black thing. If it's on just the diamond plate, do it on the diamond plate. But find that angle, lock your wrist, and now I can drag back, right? And get back farther back on the stone and start pushing. And then from now on, I can literally I'm not grinding across the stone. This is just floating across. I'm not even hitting it, but I can if I want to. Like I can let it barely touch if I want to, like that, or I can just not even touch it. Okay, so now also when you get good with this, you can use these too for like situations like this where maybe it's a little bit smaller. So now what I'll do is I can find that same spot, right? Let's say I find that spot, got that spot. Now I take these fingers and I touch it. And I know where it's at. I can feel that it's hitting directly underneath my nail right there. So I have the pad of my finger touching the stone. That gives me an indicator. So now I can push it and pull it back, and my finger is ever so slightly floating across the stone. I'm not digging into it. So now I can do back and forth and let my finger, whichever finger, it might be this finger, it could be this finger, it's whatever finger touches and is the most comfortable to go across. It could be two of them at once. It might only be one of them. And then you go back and forth until you get a burr, which we do have a burr on some of this. We got a couple more passes at the heel. I found bidirectional sharpening M390 to no take as good of an edge as only push on. So it is operator. It is operator, but also again, heat treatment in handle shape, in geometry, all plays a part in that. There are knives that I will have a much better result doing single passes. Then there's some I have a much better result doing back and forth. It just depends, because the handle shape, the reason why it's so important is because it's going to have to do with how good you are at going back and forth, right? How good are you at keeping that angle? If this is an uncomfortable grip or something like that, you might fluctuate. So it's going to be dependent on the knife and the heat treatment, because with heat treatment, the diamonds cut well heat treated higher HRC steels. It just shaves it right off. When it's a softer steel, it kind of pushes it and then eventually removes it here and just kind of it mushes it. So that makes it much more difficult to do back and forth. So the M390 you were sharpening might have been soft. That could be the thing, or it could be just the geometry and, you know, the ergonomics. There's just so many factors. Now, one problem I'm having here is I keep wanting to put my thumb right here, but that's the lock, and I don't want to do that because if I go back, you know, it's going to unlock it. So I am going to, and there's no secondary lock on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try to push my thumb right there at the bottom, or actually I'm going to go over the top of it. I'm going to go like that. And that feels good. I feel very comfortable there. It's not a big deal that I had to do that. I was worried that it was going to be, but nah. And now I'm locking my wrist. So now it's just my elbow. And also, by the way, when I did the measurement with my thumb, you can make that same measurement with your pointer finger. You just take your thumb, put a little dot right there with a permanent marker, take your pointer finger, put it right there and kiss it together. And then it'll be on this side. And you can range this side like this. Sorry, you can't see it, like this. Okay. I know exactly where it's at because I do this all the time. So I don't need to do that. I got the angle right here without even checking. And sometimes, you know, maybe you want to do it like I'm doing it without even checking. You just look at your edge, see where the scratches are landing. Right now, mine are landing at the top of the bevel. So right now I know I'm holding too low of an angle. So right now I was holding this angle, which was the exact same angle as this side, but this is probably a little bit thicker on this side. So if this side is thicker than this side, then the bevel will be bigger on this side. So I need to adjust for that before I continue. I did a couple passes. I can see that it's going to be bigger. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to raise my angle. And again, locking my wrist, trying to only move my elbow and maybe my shoulder or my body like this. See how I can lean in and out? That's just fine too. You can lean in and out. You can even do this, lean in and out like this. That's just fine. Just don't move your wrist or your elbow, or sorry, your wrist or your forearm. I'll tell you what, the bevel looks beautiful, even though it is a little bit bigger. Let's check it. Okay, we have a burr from heel to tip. The heel is mostly hit, but I can see right there is not hit completely on either side, but I still have a burr. That happens sometimes. It probably just hit a higher angle right there, or because it's very thin. But I'm not so worried about my scratches hitting the apex. I mean, that's the most important part. But I wanted to go from the top of the bevel down to the apex. Kind of like if we take the axe again, right? This is going to be big enough bevel to show you guys. I don't want my scratches only touching up here. I want it touching from there all the way down to here, right? Like if you look at this, you'll see there is scratches still on it, even though it's a mirror polish. It has the scratches on there. The scratches are all running at an angle like this, right? So you want them running from the top of the bevel down to the apex. And if it's only hitting the apex, you will get a burr, but your bevel is not done yet. So you got to continue. I have a bench stone, but for the life of me, cannot get a sharp edge using it. Watch my videos. Go watch my go watch my sharpening, my beginner's sharpening tutorial. I know you're not a beginner, but watch it. I have tips in there, just like I'm showing here, but they're broken down really good, and you can really see them because obviously I can do B-roll. I can, do camera stuff with my recorded videos. Watch that. I promise you it will help you. Sometimes it's one little detail that will change everything. It'll change your complete trajectory of sharpening. Like when I learned the locking my wrist and forearm, everything changed. Just that one thing. I went from being very inconsistent and not perfect bevels to getting pretty much perfect bevels. Obviously, it takes a little while to get the muscle memory, but once you get that muscle memory, oh yeah. All right, we have missing the tip. So we're missing the very heel and the very tip on this side. So you can see we're not really quite hitting everything on the, remember, we're not just trying to hit the apex, we're trying to hit the back of the bevel. Here, you can see we're missing the tip completely. So what I'm going to do is, again, this edge might be higher, and I'm talking about higher like this, right? So like this might be higher than right there. So it might take a little bit more to get hit, but what I might be able to do is this. So I'm locking my wrist, same angle, pulling it in towards me. And now when I get to here, I'm going to lift my elbow up to here, and I'm going to take this finger and I'm going to pull the tip into the stone. So I'm going to do that again and again. And I'm basically allowing my finger to put a couple more pounds of pressure on the tip, but I'm not lifting up too high. If you lift up too high, you will roll your tip. Your tip will be round when you're done. Stop early. Stop as soon as your tip hits the stone, like right there, it's hitting. I can feel it with this finger. It's touching. I'm stopping. I'm not going to go farther. But what I'll do is I'll let it hit and then kind of grind into it a little bit. And there we go. We got it. She's hit now. So now we're going to go to this side, and we're going to finish this side. Because we did not finish this side completely before we move to the other side. Make sure my bevels are matching. Yeah, she's looking a lot better. I do have to hold a little bit of a higher angle on that side, but not a big deal. Just the name of the game. And I can do the same thing with this one too. I can put my finger here and push it into the stone if I need to. That's pretty good. It's just this little spot at the heel that's not wanting to get hit. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to go to the next stone because, again, that little part will come out. And this is not going to affect anything. Like, it's literally like a centimeter, you know? Does your neck ever get sore from freehand or more from guided? It depends. I have carpal tunnel. So my biggest issue is when I do freehand, I get carpal tunnel and my hand starts locking up. I have a thing I put my hand in and it fucking squeezes the shit out of it. It's amazing. But sometimes I'll get so kinked up, and it's not from doing this, it's from construction and shit, but this ain't helping. So there's times where I have to use the fixed angle, or I just want to because I just don't feel like going through it. Like right now, I'm fine. I'm not fatigued or anything. But if I sit there and I'm doing it just by myself, right? There's times I'll sharpen 3 or 4 knives in a row. By the 4th knife, I'm in a lot of pain, but I keep going like an idiot. But my neck never really has an issue. My neck's never the issue. It's more of my hands. Personally, you know, everybody's different though. All right, so now we're at the 320. So flipping the burr, like I said before, going from heel to tip. I'm just doing a stropping pass. You don't have to do this. I like to do it though. And now I want to make sure I'm holding my angle up higher again, remember, because the angle's a little bit different from one side to the other. Not a problem. Making sure I'm pulling the tip into the stone, but I'm not going crazy with that because we already got it. So we might have been able to get it without me pulling the tip into the stone. So I want to make sure I'm not doing that too much anymore, unless if I need to. Okay, I need to go up just a little bit higher. Beautiful. Tell you what, you can really see the difference right here to here. The belly gets really thick. I have it too. Haven't found a remedy for it. My hands hurt so bad sometimes. So let me show you something. Get one of these. Telling you, bro, this will save your life, bro. Get one of these. So what you do is you put your hand inside there, and this thing will squeeze your hand. You'll, like, when you first use it, you're going to get scared because you're going to be like, if this thing keeps going, I'm not going to ever get my hand back. It squeezes the life out of it, but it feels so good. It feels like somebody's squeezing all in here. It feels so good. So try that out. There's different strength you can set it to and everything. That's a good way, but eventually what happens is you have to get surgery right here. They have to cut it. Seems Logical's in here. Where's he at? Just a tip. What's up, brother? Where did you get them? Amazon. And I promise you, it'll be, if you have carpal tunnel, it'll be the best investment you've made this year. It's changed my life. There was days like I would go to sleep and like I would wake up and just like I'd be like doing this all day, just squeezing my own shit. I had the gloves, I had the straps, I still have them. And now I just shove my hand in there for about 15-20 minutes. And sometimes I'll do 2 or 3 sessions like at night, or maybe, you know, throughout a day if I need to. I normally don't need to use it, but like once a month now, maybe twice a month if I'm really, really doing a lot of freehand. But when I'm done with this, I'll probably do it just to do it. But it really just, it's, even if you don't have carpal tunnel, man, it's like getting a fucking massage. It's a real, like, it's For anything that does real massages or massages, that's like the best because it squeezes. Like it's literally filling up with air, and it's like putting your hand in between two airbags, but they're like pressed for your hand, and they just push pockets like into the perfect place, and it feels so good. And then they move too, like it'll do movements. It's so good. I'm telling you guys, even if you don't have it, get it. Like I've even attempted to put my feet in there because it felt so good. Like, oh, this feels great on my feet. It don't work out, but I'm sure they have a foot one. If they don't, man, I need to invent it. That would go crazy. I'd go crazy on the TikTok shop. No, I'm just joking. It probably would though. All right, my bevel's a little bit, it's getting pretty even. Yeah, we're pretty good. Yeah, we're good. All right, now we're gonna move to our ceramic. So I want to wash this one off just a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna see how it just cleans right off. If it ever builds up so bad that it won't just wipe off like that, you can use Barkeeper's Friend. That's probably the best. Or you know, a scrub. Some people use dry erasers, or sorry, rust erasers. All right, so we have a burr on this side. You know what? I'm going to take and go back to the 600 really quick, and I'm just going to fatigue my burr lightly on both sides. So all I'm doing is stropping passes really quick. And I'm not doing a lot, and I'm doing a couple forward passes. That's it. I'm going to the ceramic now. So now I'm going to do the same thing. Stropping passes, stropping pass. I'm going to put a little soapy water on that bitch. Single pass, single pass, single pass, single pass. Now let's feel it. Our burr's almost gone, but we have a little bit on this side. We're almost there. So our belly still has it. So what I want to do is I want to make sure I'm lifting my elbow nice and evenly, making sure I'm getting the belly right. I might be messing around right now since I'm rushing. Not that I'm rushing for a reason. I just, you know, part of my nature. Okay, so I still have a little spot right there that needs to come out. The heat treatment don't feel too bad on this, especially now. Maybe in the once you get rid of some of the steel, it tends to get into better steel after like a good, oh, there we go. After a good sharpening or two. Now, we need to go to a strop. Let's go to the Worksharp strop right here. So let's see, because remember, we put that fresh stuff on there. Let's see how dark this gets now. Now, it's kind of dark already, but not as dark as that, right? This was the side that we cleaned. Now, I was also stropping knives that were being used and stuff. So, but I see it already getting darker, like much darker. Look at this. Just watch this. Look at how dark this thing gets. Look at that. Talk about removing material. Like this might be the most aggressive stropping compound. But again, you guys aren't gonna be able to see it, but it's leaving powder on my edge. And when I first, it's not as bad as it was when I first started using it, and that might be just with a fresh strop. Oh yeah, that's sharp. That's sharp. But I do notice in the belly, I feel the tiniest little prick. Oh yeah. Ah, man, there is a little spot. So this is what I think. I would leave it the way it is, and I would use it, right? And I would expect that when I start using the knife, this belly area is going to show wear more than the rest of the edge. And it'll probably microchip, maybe slightly. And it probably has something to do with my burr removal. Maybe it came off a little too aggressive in the belly, and maybe now it took a little steel with it or something, because, or maybe there's just some steel still hanging on. Either way, it's not a big deal. It's not enough to ruin my experience with the knife or anything. I plan on sharpening it again pretty soon because it's only been one sharpening. I like to do 2 or 3 because one sharpening, you're into better steel, but after 2 or 3, you're under good steel, because when they sharpen them on the factory, the edges most likely get burnt because they need to do them fast in order to give them to you for a low price. If they don't burn them, they have to raise the price, basically, because they can't do them as fast. So in order for them to do them fast, especially super steels like this, it raises the temperature of the blade. And then once it raises, especially in the thin areas, right, in the super thin areas, which is the edge, it'll get hotter than the temperature it was heat treated at, which will compromise the heat treatment in that part. But you can, once you grind through that and you sharpen it a couple times, you'll get into better steel that's just fine. So, but yeah, that's what I would expect. Let's test it out. I don't have any more paper right here. Look, it's not the good paper. I don't want to just use paper towel because then you guys don't get it. Is cutting straight through paper towel, so you know it's going to cut right through paper just fine. It'll do swirls. Oh yeah, she's sharp. She's sharp as shit. Here's a piece of paper for a knife. So it's got crinkles in it, but still cuts like a damn dream. Let's feel this belly really quick. Let's see what this belly does. Hear it just a little bit. I can cut cleanly through it, by the way. I'm exaggerating it so you guys can hear it. So I'm going to go really slow and let it bite into it. Here, it's biting into it. Just that little tiny bit. So that's why I'm saying it's going to, you know, wear out a little bit faster right there. Not a big deal. I'll get it on the next sharpening. And it could be also another thing. That's where the burnt steel could still be, and that's why it's hanging on. That's why there's like burr, like fucking not coming off well, because when the steel's compromised, it's not like snapping off, right? It'll fucking hang on. So like that's the problem with soft steels or bad heat treatments. The burr is harder to get off. So you'll take a burr, think about like a paper clip, right? If you take a paper clip and you bend it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, it's going to snap, right? That's what you want the burr to do. But the difference will be like a paper clip, you're going to have to bend it back and forth a lot, right? Well, with a harder steel, you just bend it, snap. Right? But with a paper clip, it's back and forth all fucking day. So that's the way this is, because paper clip is soft, so is this. Or not this, but I'm saying the burr if it had a bad heat treatment or whatever. Montana Knife Company's drama. Owner says to buy USA because prices will not increase with tariffs. Comes back a few days later claiming tariffs ruining the business. You'll have to raise the prices. You have to raise the prices. Listen, man, the tariffs, I don't know when he made that statement. Maybe he made that statement when tariffs were lower or something, but tariffs are all, they're going to make you, even if you eat some of the cost, you're going to have to pass some of it on. Because just for an example, right? Let's say I do a product, and let's say my profit is 50%, right? So meaning like if I have something that's I don't know, 150 bucks. I guess that wouldn't be 50%. If it's 100 bucks, then I make 50 bucks. I guess that would mean that. I feel like that's 100% because, anyways, if I'm making, say, $50 profit off of $150, let's say that. If I'm making $50 profit off of $150, and now I'm spending $60, right, more. I can't only make 20 or what would it be? A few dollars. I can't make nothing, right? I have to fucking either up my price or split it with you. All right. Where it's like, okay, I'll pay 30, you pay 30. I'm still at least making 20 fucking dollars or something. Right. So that's the way it is. And there's nothing a company can do. Nothing a company can do. They have to up their price or they have to eat the cost. But some companies, for an example, coffee. Right? Coffee's like a 98% profit margin. Like, of course, they don't care. They're like, ah, fuck it. You know, it's like, so we're going to pay 3 cents now instead of 2 cents for a cup of coffee that we're selling for $8. Cool. They don't care. But for like a knife company, they're paying very close to margins. Like their margins are, and I have a lot more respect for them now that I see, especially when you're talking about warranties work and all this other shit. It adds up. You don't make as much as you think. So it winds up becoming, not saying you can't make good money, you know, if you're running a good business and you're being consistent and good to your customers and everything, but it's definitely something where, like I said, like if you plan on having 100% margins where it's like, I make $100 off of 200, right? Like where you're making 50%. If you're planning on having that or thinking you're going to have that, because that's what a lot of people think when they get into it, you're going to be sadly mistaken. It's going to be a lot less. But that's the name of the game. Now you can get it up to that, but it takes a while to get up to there because you have to have reoccurring shit, you know, and things that have been going for longer because now the companies are good at doing it. So there are less problems, less warranty, there's a lot of things that can up it over time. But at first, you're gonna it's gonna be a small margin, but that's fine, right? That's fine. But what you can't do is not have no margin, right? And that's where the tariffs, if you're paying a 55% tariff, you know, put it this way. When I did my BESTECH thing, thank you, Duke. I appreciate the 5 bones, man. When I did my and I'm not bitching about the tariffs, by the way, guys. I'm not bitching about them. I understand why we have them. I'm just saying the reality, right? When we bought the BESTECH, we had because the tariffs were about to come into play, and they wound up coming into play right when we were about to get it. But it was like right in the threshold where we wound up getting it, and it was at what was it, 20%. So we wound up having to pay. We did not put this into the account, right? So we had no understanding that we were going to have to do this. So we spent however much money, say $40,000-$50,000 or whatever for knives. I don't know, whatever it was, right? And then we had to pay 20% of that. I think it was way more than it. It was like 70,000 or something. And then you have to pay 20% of that. So now that's a lot of fucking money to all of a sudden just shit out. It's like, well, there's my profits, right? Like that's so, but you didn't know, right? So now it's like, okay, well, next time I'm gonna have to fucking up the price now because I can't pay for people to just get products and me work thousands of hours for nothing. 80s neon cell shade Heretic Pariah manual knife with magnet cut steel and DLC coating. It's pretty cool. Check it out. Hell yeah. Yeah, I got the I think I have the Pariah. I do have the Pariah. I have the Manticore, I think, or something like that. Lone Star, oh boy, most of the steels will still be made in the USA, just under different names. Only one truly going away is 15B. I'm over everything increasing. We just came off 4 years of price increase. Yeah, but I understand what you're saying, but we also just seen a lot of decrease. Like prices are down right now. Like prices are down on a lot of things. In fact, listen, I'm not saying it's not going to go up because I thought, my personal opinion was that we weren't going to see prices go up until 2026. But they're looking at it because I guess whoever's supposed to be smarter than me, it said that it should have happened by the middle of the year, which we're past, and prices actually have went down, not up. So that does make it look like it's fine. Like we're not going to see that. I still think that wait a couple more months and you're going to see a few things go up. Now that's not everything, because you got to understand a lot of things do have a much higher profit margin than we understand. It's just not everything, right? Not the knife market. The knife market is not some knives. Yeah, some companies. Yeah, fuck yeah. There's going to be some companies that are spending $300 on a knife and selling it for $1,000. Of course there are, but the majority of people are spending $150 on a knife and selling it for $250, right? And then still also paying more than that for warranty and all that other bullshit. That's just the cost of the knife. So they're probably going to make like 20%. So, you know, it just depends on the market, right? But most markets, a lot of markets, especially when you're talking about like big box stores, those fucking guys, man, they're fine. They'll be just fine. These prices probably aren't going to go up too much over there because their profit margins are way larger. They're buying in such bulk. You know, obviously with anything, you know, when you especially when you have a deal with companies, right? Like right now, if I made a deal, let's say, and I'm just talking shit, I don't think this is possible, but let's say I made a deal with Riyadh that I would buy 100,000 knives a year if they could give it to me for blank price, then, you know, that'd probably be awesome. Then my profit margins would go up. But you'd have to have millions and millions and millions of dollars to be able to do something like that. Because you'd have to fill that no matter what, even if you don't sell them. Maybe if I don't have, well, I hope you do, man. Check it out. I didn't see any over there, but it's possible. It's definitely possible. How many people are in here? 94. Maybe I'll give you guys a sneak peek here in a second. I don't think most people will watch this thing all the way through to here. We've been up here for a while. Shout out to Worksharp, though. I do want to shout them out again, man. They've, you know, it's been huge having them as a sponsor because it's huge just having sponsors, period. You know, we've worked really hard on the channel, and I deny more sponsors than I take. I deny a lot. There's a lot of companies that want to sponsor the channel. There's a lot of companies that want a lot of things. And I deny because I wouldn't buy it myself. I don't like it. Or I just don't feel comfortable with it. Whatever the fucking reason is. And I don't want to sit there and take money from something and then, even if I'm not recommending it, right? Even if because the way I thought about it before is like, if a company if a company sponsors me and all they want me to do is say, hey, this exists, go check it out, right? I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm just saying this exists, so go check it out, right? Then I thought that's not that big of a deal. But then, you know, I start thinking about like, well, what if I see some real big issues, right? Do I really want to tell people to go check them out and then they're just not going to nonchalantly think that I like it or something maybe? So I'm a little bit, you know, turned off of stuff like that. And I don't want to just take companies that like I would never, ever, ever spend $1 with and throw them. And that's why I love it when it's companies that I actually love. I've met them, shook their hands. They've put me up room and board. They've, you know, been kind to me. I see how they treat their workers. When you see how a company treats their workers, man, it really changes the way you think about them. Like Worksharp, I don't know if I've ever seen a company that had such happy workers. Like everybody, like even just their mindset in the way their work went. Like they don't even the people don't even come in every single day. Like people are like, some of them are allowed to work from home. If they have an issue, like a doctor's appointment, whatever, go do it. You know, like it's like that. They want people to be happy to come back. And they said that they have a very little quitting, you know, because people don't want to quit a job like that. People don't want to quit a job that they actually enjoy coming to and they're not at so long and so often that it's like they fucking hate going there. They have days where they can work from home. They have days where they can change positions and do something. Like they have little meetings and like games and stuff and like fun shit, big ass. It's a great environment. So, you know, man, it's like, okay, man, these guys are good people, you know, and then you see, you know, their products, and your products are really good, and they listen to you. Like, you know, say with this system, right? I had multiple criticisms, and with every single thing I criticize, it's very soon after they're doing something about it. Like, and sometimes I'm not even criticizing. I'm just recommending, like, hey, if you guys did this, it'd be, and then bang, they do it. That shows you that they're paying attention to the market, because how many companies out here, and we could all name a lot, how many companies will literally fucking, they will, let me plug this in just in case. How many companies will, sorry. Will listen to critique after critique after critique, or listen to problem after problem, and they don't ever do anything about it. They don't change it. They don't give a shit. It's almost like, I don't give a fuck what you think. Buy our shit, right? But then it's cool when a company's like, I don't care if they'll buy it like this. I want to make sure it's better than this, you know? Like, that's cool. And because that's the way I like to think. You know, like, man, I'd rather this be better, even though they'll buy it. You know, I'd rather it just be better because then they'll appreciate it more. Dukes of Hazzard, thank you for the 2 bones. What's the fragrance today? I'm glad you fucking asked. You know, I'm fucking glad you asked. There's actually 2 of them because earlier I did a short and I showed what I was wearing earlier, but that has changed now because I took a shower and I put on something different. Where the hell did the, oh, there it is. So I'll show you what I was wearing earlier and then I'll show you what I'm wearing right now. So earlier was Kenzo Home Marine EDT. Marine EDT. Kenzo, Kenzo, Home, HOMME, Marine EDT. Now, it's a very fresh, watery summer fragrance. That's why we got it. I think in the notes, it doesn't say anything about mint, but it has, in my opinion, a light mint scent in there. And it's super fresh, watery, in a good way. So like fresh, like super, super fresh with a light hint of like a cool mint. So it feels good in the hot. It's very hot here right now and super fucking humid. This is perfect for weather like that because it feels a little cooling when you smell it. It kind of cools you down when you smell it. Now it does have a certain like hint of spice, but it's like the fresh spice. So it's not like spice. It's a fresh spice, which is good. The one I'm wearing right now is L'Homme Ideal Platine Privé by Guerlain. This is absolutely a banger. Fucking panty dropper banger. It's badass. This is a zesty, lemony, fresh fragrance. It has like, so there's another fragrance. It's called Vibrato, which is like a $500 fragrance for the same size as this. It's similar to that. Vibrato is probably a little bit better, $400 or $500 better. I don't know, probably not, but it is really good. This is close enough, but it's super, it's like a lemon zest that's mixed with like a male, I don't want to say shower gel, but I want to say like a blue, but it's a freshness, right? So it has like a freshness, a lemony zestness, but there's something in it that's almost like captivating. It makes you like want to keep smelling it. It's not like say a cleaning lemon scent. It's a fragrance lemon scent where it's like it's very summer, very warm weather, good for that, good for hot. It's probably good for all year round. But it's not off-putting. It smells very fresh, very clean. I don't want to say sweet because it's not a sweet fragrance. This has a hint of sweet in there. This does not, but man, it is fucking fire, man. I'm telling you, hey, Triple B's in the house. Need the Neeves brand. I know. I'm going to do one. I'm definitely going to do one. And it's probably going to smell like micarta. That'd be funny as shit. Fragrance micarta. But no, I definitely want to do one. That'd be badass. Shout out to Triple B. Thank you for the 5 bones, brother. I appreciate it. I like you a lot. No homo. Thank you, Dukes. I appreciate it. But yeah, man, this is this Guerlain brand is really good. They have a lot of super sweet fragrances. Almost too sweet. Some of them are great, some of them are not. I have a bunch of them. I like some of them, not all of them, but they're very popular. This one, in my opinion, is the best they have that I've found. But they are a very popular brand. This one's really good. I highly recommend this. This one's more affordable, I believe. I think this is like probably like, this is probably 140, 150 or something like that. I don't know. It's probably like 80 to 100 bucks, but this is a big bottle though, so it might be a little bit more. But this one is, like I said, it has a nice, fresh, soft, like a soft, almost a light powdery, fresh scent with a little bit of mint in it. That's a fresh mint that's nice. It's very nice. Smells good. Smells fire. Since it's hot weather, you have to be careful with gourmand fragrances, spicy fragrances, and warm fragrances, basically like fall fragrances and stuff. You don't want to do that shit. They're too heavy. You don't want heavy fragrances. You want something light, fresh, something shower jelly, something good for the gym, things like that. I'm not saying you're actually going to the gym, but I'm saying it's good for an environment like that where people, when you walk by, nobody's going to be like, fucking guy. You know, like nobody's gonna be like that. Everybody's just gonna be like, that was pleasant. You know, you don't want that anyways. But like, if you wear a winter or fall time fragrance in the middle of the summer, that's what people do. People will be like, oh shit, what the fuck? Like, because it's just too thick, it's too heavy. But when you're wearing just something fresh, if it literally smells like clean linen, right? You're like, smells like you just got out the shower, smells good, right? So what are you carrying this week? Right now, I don't know what I'm going to carry all week. Well, I actually kind of do. I'll show you guys. But right now I'm carrying the BESTECH Taipan, brand new one, but look at, man, this thing is a fucking laser beam. I sharpen this thing. It is a nightmare. This thing is absolutely a fucking nightmare. Been loving the BP Customs Crewwear 65 HRC. Fucking amazing geometry. Beautiful vintage micarta. Absolutely amazing. I have a couple other ones from Blue Moon sitting over there, but I can't reach them. But I'll show you guys a little sneak fucking peek. I don't know if I want to show you that one or not. I don't want to show you all the colors, but we'll show you maybe one of them. Maybe one of them. All right, we'll do one dark one, one light one. You're not getting all of them. Okay, so this is a prototype I'm working on. There's only 80 people in here. I guarantee nobody's going to watch this, at least not this far later. So this is a prototype I'm working on. This is a budget knife. It is an aluminum handle with titanium hardware, titanium clip, parts, etc. Now, it looks like a regular crossbar like, but it's not. We'll talk about that. 14C harpoon drop point hollow ground blade. Very ergonomic, very cool. Clip is very similar to the offender clip. Works great. It'll be reversible. Now, yes, this one is using a crossbar lock. I have another knife where I made up my own lock, called the prison bar lock. We'll see how it does. I'm not sure yet, but hopefully it works. I added a double detent system in here. So there's two detents. There's a detent here and a detent here that drop into a track. So basically when the blade is closed, it's in the detent holes, right? Once it pops, it instantly goes into a track. So now the detents are in a track all the way open. So it basically makes it to where you can have the detent of a liner lock, right? And then the strength of a crossbar lock. However, a little issue I'm dealing with is that it's somewhat of a hybrid. It has, because the crossbar, I have adjustments I'm going to do. So we'll see how the next one goes. I'll definitely have to get another prototype, but the crossbar lock is definitely still in there with the detent, but it is a lot stronger of a, and you can adjust it, by the way, because if you wanted to, which I did with one of them, I adjusted the detent strength and made it a lot fucking stronger. So you can do that. But not sure if I'm going to keep the front flipper or not. It works amazing for the thumb flick. They're a little slippery. They're aluminum. So so the finish originally, I wanted to be raw. When I said raw, they left it raw. So this is just raw aluminum, but it is slippery. It's not very, the coated ones aren't as bad because it has a coating, but this one is a little bit more slippery, but because this isn't aggressive enough. So I want it to be raw aluminum. Like I want the machining to be in there. Anyway, so the front flipper does work well, but it doesn't work well with the reach over because your fingers pinch underneath the bar and you can't get it because it'll hit. Now I can get it with the side finger and I can get it with the thumb, but it is a little bit wide. Let me put a little Band-Aid right there. It is a little bit wide. I just, I'm not sure if it's a smart thing to keep the front flipper right now. So I'm probably, I don't know. I'm contemplating on taking it off. Contemplating on taking the detent out of the crossbar. So there's no crossbar detent at all. I have some changes I'm going to write down. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but it's good. It's good. But 14C28N, like I said, harpoon drop point blade. The plunge grind will be different. There's a lot of changes that'll happen. These are first prototypes. The clip's amazing. Love the clip. I just, I have one little change on the clip. You can't pull down the crossbar and swing it because of detents unless you really give it some go. But yeah, I'm taking my money. What is the name? I thought I seen somebody say that. Maybe not. Bandage for the win. Bandage for the win. Love my adder and inmate. So this is what I'm going to be carrying and seeing, or using for a little while, checking them out. But I do have, like I said, quite a few changes that I think will only be for the better. I'll tell you what, it is mega comfortable, nice and slicey, great geometry, nice and thin hollow grind, very deep hollow grind. Like I said, the geometry and the ergos are phenomenal. The shape for use, like you can just see it, like pinch grips, like the tip is basically aiming at everything you're cutting because of how low it is. So but you have a little bit of belly there. So if you do need to cut down a flat surface, you actually can, because even though it's a little belly, now this is also going to be one of the easiest blade shapes to sharpen because you have very little lift. When I go to sharpen, like, look at this. That's how much I lift my elbow. That's it. So it's literally like this. It's almost like you're just going straight across, but you are lifting up a little bit, but it's so minor. It's nothing. Even up this side. Even when I go this way, you probably can't even tell I'm lifting my elbow on this side. Maybe a little bit. But the crossbars have somewhat of a unique shape. I guess everybody kind of does theirs like that a little bit. I did draw those though, like that, which is kind of cool. I have another knife that I'm working on that's a premium knife. Remember, this is a budget knife. The premium knife is going to implement a similar detent system with a unique locking system that I'm designing, but I need to make sure that this will work first. Then if it does, once I get all the tweaks out of this one, that next one, that thing is, in my opinion, my best design yet. It is fucking amazing. It looks so dope. It looks so badass. Everything about it looks badass. I can't wait to see an actual prototype of it. But this is also really cool because this is a budget knife, right? It's affordable, fidget friendly. Hopefully in the end, it'll have a nice ting sound. We'll see about that. My want is I wanted a unique detent system. Right now, I don't quite have it the way I want, but I'm going to get there. Not that it's not unique, because it is, because you don't feel crossbars with detents like this, but I want it to be a little crispier. I want to, because of the crossbar, like I still have that pull in. I want that to have just a break and it to just be free flowing, right? Hopefully I can get that. I'm going to try to still get that. And I think I know how, and I think I can do it. So I'm going to try to fix it myself at home. But once I can get it there and get it to where it can just break the detent and fly, or fuck some shit up, because then it'll be a very unique, because then it'll be a crossbar that has like a flat detent ball frame lock feel. Darlin just released a center clamp for their Gen 3 system. Wonder if it'll work on the TS Prof as well. Well, everything from TS Prof works on that, so I'm sure it'll vice versa for sure. I tell them to send it to me. I finally got the TS Prof parts for my Zone Gen 3. It is a game changer, but in all honesty, I will be ordering a Cadet Pro at the end of the month anyway. I tell everybody, man. I tell everybody, listen, I'm glad you got the parts, because I'm glad you said that, because it does make it a game changer. It absolutely makes it a game changer. But like I was literally telling somebody this earlier. I said almost every person I know that spent less money, like that maybe they needed to at the time, but they spent less money, all wind up ending at the same place. They all wind up ending on the premium system. It might be a year, it might be 2 years, it could be 3 years, but they typically are going to get frustrated enough or learn enough on the one that they'll know that's going to get me where I want to go. But everybody ends like at the same place. So that's why I tell people, unless if you need to, if that's your budget, then do what you have to, right? I get it. Trust me. I did it for fucking years where like I literally looked for the absolute cheapest I could get that would work. But if you can afford it, don't cheap out. Don't cheap out because you're just going to regret it and you're going to wish you didn't. And then you're just going to buy it anyways. And then you're going to look over at the thing that you bought that you wasted money on and you're going to be like, fuck you. Jared, did you say you weren't proud of your previous knife? No, I wasn't saying, I'm proud of them. Yeah, I'm proud of them. I just meant like that. My mind is really focused on the next ones because it's been a stepping stone of like when my first few designs were like me figuring out manufacturing and dealing with the companies, and there was a lot of things, there was a lot of issues, right? Like there's things I didn't foresee, that just little things, right, that now I know to watch for and whatever. So, and not even just watch for, but just to know that I need to say this, I need to do this, I need to play this different. Because like, let's say you get prototypes, right? You could wind up getting 5 fucking prototypes, spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars before you ever get to one you like. And I'm not saying I did that. I'm saying that you could do that if you're not correct on what you say. If you're not going through it with a fine-tooth comb and being very clear with if you're picky like me. If you're not picky like me, you could probably do run prototype, be like, fuck it, let's run it. Good enough. They'll make a good knife, the first knife. But I'm super fucking picky, man. I am picky. I'm like their worst nightmare. So me, man, I'm trying to go through every little detail, and it makes it to where I can make sure that the thing's going to be done the way I want. I don't want to regret something. But even though you've went through everything, so what'll happen is we'll say if you're on your second prototype, let's say your second prototype, you don't have money for another one. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fucking broke at this point, and I need to get these now, right? Because remember, production costs shit ton of money, right? So it's like, do I have another whatever thousands of dollars to spend? Because prototypes are always money. Anyways, my point is just that by the second prototype, you're not wanting to do a third one. You really are not. Like, usually 2 prototypes is usually good enough, but like I said, you might come into a place where you're like, I really could use 1 more prototype and it'd be really good, but I don't have the money for it. So I have to trust the company to be able to do what I want them to do, right? Like, listen, everything's good. I just want you to change this jimping, or I just want you to change this texture. I just want you to change this relief or whatever. And please just do it like this. This is how I want it. So just make that a change, right? And then let's say they do or don't. Let's say they do make the change, and let's say it's not what you wanted, or let's say they don't make the change and they do it just like the production because they didn't hear you correctly or lost in translation. And now you get $50,000, $60,000 in knives, and that's just the way it is. So you have to sell them how they are. Now, I'm not saying I really ran into much of that. I barely ran into that. I had a little bit of that. But what I'm saying is that I knew those things could happen. So I kept my eggs, kind of stored away, and did like some very easy. I wanted to do easy stuff. I'm very proud of them. Don't get me wrong, I'm very, very proud of them. I think I did them all for a specific reason. And those are incredible designs. But I have a lot of designs, like a shit ton of designs. Like right now, I probably have 40, 50 designs right now that I've done. I won't do 90% of them though, right? I'll do probably 5% of them. So, and I'm still designing now. So like that's, I want now that I've gotten my toes, dipped in the water, now I'm more prepared to design. And I think that my designs are going to have a leaps and bounds difference in what they were. Or what they are, because they're great, right? That's a good thing, right? Because I'm very happy with how they turned out. So if I'm very happy with how they turned out, they're amazing. Think about leaps and bounds, right? I want to do different locking systems. I want to do unique shit. I want different textures. I want stuff that is innovative, different, and fascinating. I want you to see it and hear it and be like, I need that. Like, not just you, but everybody. Like, I want it to be like that. Like, I think the gravity knife is going to be very popular. We're almost done with this one. They came back with some drawings today, so this one's going to be pretty damn. I know it's going to be cool because by the way, the finished ones are going to have harpoons, and instead of just spear points, it's a very thin hollow grind. So this is going to be, I think, pretty cool. But it's obviously, it's practical because of the shape and everything. This is obviously a good user, but a lot of people can't carry this because it's a fucking gravity knife. So it's going to be a lot of fun, but it's not going to be like not everybody's work knife, right? So while this is a lot of fun and I do think it'll do well, it's not going to be like my most practical design as far as what I want to make for everybody. So we'll say that, too smooth. There we go. Yeah. What knife don't you like to flip, manipulate? The buck 110. Who the fuck wants to flip that fucking thing? I wonder how a square or triangle detent versus a ball. Well, they have square detents. If you want to know how that feels, Brian Nadeau, Sharp by Designs. They use a detent nub. I have seen square detents as well that work very similar to Brian Nadeau's. That's where they got it from. I actually am doing a flat detent right now on something, as long as they can pull it off. But in many cases with flat detents, they have to sand them down. Those do leave a bigger hole that it has to go into. So a detent ball will drop into, say, a hole like this, right? But when you make it a flat detent, it needs a hole like this. So now it's a bigger snap. So it's a much cleaner break. That's what I want on one of my designs that are coming up. But hopefully they can do it, because a lot of times you have to hand do those. So a lot of times it's better to just go with a nub on a steel lock bar insert. So I might have to do that. I'm not sure yet. Thank you for the 2 bones, Duke. Appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Did you say you... All right. Such a sexy blade. I can't even wait to see how satisfying the action is. Thanks for sharing with us. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I can't wait to really see the final version, because, you know, like I said, I have a few changes that I need done. Like this plunge grind is driving me nuts. The front flipper does wrap around the bar down here, so if I pull down, it can hit the back of it right here a little bit. Not that that matters, because you don't have to pull down that far. You just pull down halfway and it's fine. But if you pull down all the way, you feel it touch it. Not that big of a deal. So I'll probably just get rid of that. And then my biggest thing is I want that super sharp break. Now, we'll see how it goes. I think it's going to be fun though, or fun for people that buy it. I think people are going to enjoy it. I think I'm going to try to get the price as low as possible, guys. Like, this is supposed to be a budget knife, but obviously it's titanium hardware. Aluminum is more affordable, right? So I get the aluminum affordable, 14C is affordable. So that should keep the price down. The titanium hardware is obviously going to raise it up a little bit. It does have the steel liners, because it has to, for Omega springs and stuff like that. It does not have an adjustable crossbar, but I don't think we're going to need that, because I'm not planning on it having anything to do with the detent. So we'll see. But it's pretty dope. All right, guys. I think I see. Oh no, we got 104 people in here. Maybe we could. How much do I got? Maybe we could sharpen up one more knife real quick. What time is it? Oh, wow, it's 12:07. Never mind. We're gonna do this again really soon. Just take my money. Appreciate the sharpening context. And hello to Kara. Thank you, Dukes, man. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're gonna do this again really soon. I have a bunch of lives coming up, and then even members live. So if you're a member, don't worry, we do have a members live coming up and a giveaway coming up. So we're gonna be doing that. I'm just trying to catch up right now, because like I said at the beginning of this, I lost everything. literally everything in my phone. So I don't know why it just all disappeared. My entire phone got wiped. Woke up in the morning, everything was gone. Every picture, sentimental pictures, everything gone. I had to re-sign into everything. Like it acted like it didn't even know me. It acted like it was a brand new phone. That's what happened. I woke up with a brand new phone. So all my thumbnail things, my facial expressions, my arrows, everything I use to make thumbnails go faster, all fucking gone. So I'm starting at scratch. So I'm pushing through it, guys. Pushing through it. It's just the name of the game. I'm fucking fine with it. Whatever. Fuck it. We'll make better ones. I love you guys. Work hard, stay tough. Until next time. Peace.